All right, I think we're live. I'm going to go to my channel and see if I can find it.
You know, the best part about the new computer,
It's what?
I don't have to go to Firefox to do my webcam.
Oh, that's awesome.
I had to do 2 different things to get in there. So
I think we are live now. I'm going to share it.
to get in there. So hang on, I'm turning it down.
I'm going to share it in our Facebook, my Facebook group. And
hi, Karen.
Hi, Karen. I can't even see you yet. I'm sharing in my Facebook group. Let's see. How can I?
Hi, Candy, Shelley.
Hi, you guys.
Nana, Judy.
Hey. Just trying to share it in our Facebook group, and it's like not so easy. In my Facebook group. How are you guys liking the new Facebook thing? The new Facebook thing. Oh, I don't know. Have you switched yours to the new Facebook page, Jean?
I haven't. I kind of like it.
I can't find when you're in a group. I can't find all the normal things that you can find to post stuff.
It's hard, but I'm getting there. Well,
that's cool. You're better than you're better than me.
Well, I don't love it, but I'm getting better, and I'm not totally annoyed with it. So,
hey, that's all that matters.
Hi, Malaya, Miss Gigi, and Ree.
Hi, Malia. Oh my goodness! All right, let's see. I'm sorry, I have my computer in the way. Oh, good. Hi, Karen, Candy, Shelley, Nana, Judy. Hi, Ree. How are you doing, girl? I haven't seen you in a long time. Ree is Kayala. Hi, Miss Gigi. Life's been a little challenging for me lately. I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's been challenging. So what are you making today, Jean?
I don't know if you've seen the tag book that Lisa Conway and Tanya McGuire were doing.
No, I haven't. I'm going to be really completely honest. I am remiss. I have the camera totally on you. Hi, APG. Hi, Sage. I have been totally remiss in my YouTube stuff.
Well, evidently I left it in the other room when I was sharing it earlier.
So you're making
the parts, but I'll get it here in a minute. But I did do this. This is so cool.
I love it. You got what? New dies?
I got a new die. And it makes this.
Ooh, what die is it?
It's a Sizzix. Oh,
be an enabler. Go on.
Yeah, hang on. It's just the paper is right here. All I have to do is stand up.
Be an enabler, Jean.
It's this one.
All need Crafty enablers. Oh, I haven't seen that one. So read the name of it. So if anybody wants to buy it.
Eileen Hull.
Eileen Hull. Awesome.
Yeah. And its number is 662816.
Number 662816.
And it kind of shows you here. I'm in the studio now, so my camera and me are getting reacquainted. It does these little slots. It's easier to see that on this leather. I punched it out of leather.
Oh, nice.
So it's got the little grooves. So if you're doing paper, it's going to fold real good. Of course, with leather, it's really soft, but it's just going to be so pretty with leather. But this one, I thought, my first thought was I wanted to do it with leather. And since I didn't want to ruin the leather, I wouldn't have lost much, but I decided to do canvas.
Oh, that's nice.
And this is primed artist canvas on a bolt. Someone gave it to me years ago, and I have a lot.
Nice.
And so I just did this, and I put the elastics in and put my little books in. I'm not a real big on, I don't mind the elastics, but I like to have a full book. I got this in with just papers.
So APG is asking you, Jean, how did it cut with paper? The die.
Cut great with paper. It's a steel rule die. It's not a thinlet.
Oh, okay, it's like the big fat one, so you need to use it in a big shot.
Yeah. And I love it. I mean, I did it with paper, and I did it with a real heavy paper, like watercolor. And the score lines that it puts in there really help it turn the corners like it's supposed to.
I think it's cool.
Yeah, I really like it. I have the little one too. I've been playing around a lot with leather lately. I don't know why. This one is just okay. Sorry, guys. I'm not sure where my camera's at here.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so this is a different die that you were using?
Nope. This is Tim Holt's embossing folder, and I just embossed a piece of leather.
Oh, cool.
And then put some rub and buff and alcohol inks on it.
Oh, nice.
And just made my own little Midori type thing.
Yeah, I love, I've been making a lot of, I don't have them in here. They're in my living room because I have my craft room kind of split up between my bedroom and my partial dining alcove that is now our homeschooling alcove. But I have been making a ton of traveler's notebook style little junk journals and just loving it. So I can relate.
Thanks, Shelley. Hi, Amberly. Hi, APG.
Hi, Amberly. Hi, Linda. How are you? I have a question for you guys. Have any of you guys heard from Vicki Sparkles, Vicki S., Vicki Schultz? I'm a little worried about her. Haven't heard anything. Have you guys heard? Does anybody keep in touch with her? I'll put the camera back on both of us. So today I'm going to work in my little blue book, but I thought before I got all into it, you guys, I splurged and bought a bunch of papers from Amy. And I love, first of all, I love painting papers. I think I have an addiction to painting papers. So I bought some papers from her, and they got here, I don't know, a few days ago, and I haven't. And if you guys don't know her, her channel is Hags Hollow. What else is it, Jane? It's got a whole name. It's
dark something.
You know what, you guys, if you're interested, I'll put it in the description box after our stream. So I bought some papers from her, and I haven't even opened the box yet because I'm still in my crafty purge. How many of you guys are in your crafty purge? I am purging. I have so many more ideas than I have hours in the day. So I've been going through and just making that hard decision of what am I really going to make and what I'm not at this moment, which I don't know about how you guys are, but what usually happens to me is it's the same thing when I thrift my clothes, when I get rid of my clothes, purge my closet, then I get a job where I need the exact wardrobe that I purged. So I'm just purging stuff and knowing full well that I may have to come back to the realization that I need, the same thing with my craft supplies. So I know I don't need another thing, but I really like her and I want to support her. And I got this. Oh my gosh, she sent me tons of stuff. I bought all kinds of papers from her Etsy store. And she also, hang on. Hold on. Yeah. Okay, I knocked my headset off, the mouthpiece off. And she also has does some pre-sales. So Jean and I were at our pre-sale the other day. This is prior to the pre-sale. So she makes just beautiful hand-dyed and coffee-dyed papers. And hi, Mary Lou. Oh, okay. Malia says it's Hags Hollow Dark Wood Sanctuary. That's her YouTube channel. Malia, can you put it in the? I don't know. Can you put it in the link? Can you put it in her? Oh, you did already. Thank you. I wasn't watching via YouTube. So she makes all kinds of coffee dyed, tea dyed, and then what kind of dyes does she use? I don't really know. Do you know, Jane?
I don't.
But her papers come out beautiful. So this, I think, is the tea dyed pack. And she has like a pack of the month, and she has a mini pack in the middle of the month. And if any of you guys have ever hand dyed papers, oh man, look at this. Jean, she sent me tea dyed muslin. Oh my goodness.
How pretty.
Wow. No, right? And then some index cards and doilies. And
she's really good for the money. I mean, you get a good amount of stuff.
And look, and she sent me some though while you were out things, doilies, and time cards. And these are all look how nice they are. Maybe my lighting's crappy. You guys, it's earlier. I don't usually stream this early here. It's early for me. It's like 10 in the morning, which is not early, but usually I stream in the afternoon my time, which is nighttime for most of you. Anyway, so I splurged and I bought myself some stuff. Oh, look at these. And she also did some glassine bags. And I think this is her standard tea dye kit, but I'm not 1,000% sure. Oh, wow. And this is, it's like a big ledger sheet. And then bunches of paper. Oh, wow. Look, oh my gosh, coffee filters, paper. I think this is deli paper too. Wow. So I splurged and bought myself like I need another thing. Amy's stuff is gorgeous. Oh, thank you for putting the link, Malia. Because I don't need another thing. I don't. And yeah. You know, the thought I think I've told Jane this, but I don't know if I've told all the rest of you this, but my partner's father is in the, I would love to say it's the beginnings, but it isn't. It is like we've been talking with his siblings about possibly, because my partner has the best relationship with his dad. I think when you have that type of issue of that memory issue thing, sometimes the best and the worst of you comes out from it, like if you were already high strung, things irritate you more easily. It's just like a whole thing. I think your predisposition is also a determining factor. If you were a stressed out person before, you definitely continue that. And they all came to the general consensus that his dad actually, the only person he really responds to is my partner. And so we've been discussing moving, and we may have already done it except for COVID, right? And so we're still sort of discussing all that. The good side is that we actually tried to see if we could get him to come here, but he has a girlfriend right now. His dad's in his 80s, by the way, and he doesn't really want to leave her, but he's losing his short-term memory, and they've taken away his car now, and that's been a big deal. And so he hasn't been amiable to moving here to Hawaii, but I think that would be the best choice. So in preparation for that, I decided, rather than waiting last minute and finding out that I'm really going to have to go, I'm going to start cleaning out my stash now. You know what I mean? Like letting go of things that I just couldn't possibly move with.
Candy, I stamped all of these. with different stamps, and I couldn't tell you who they are. Some of them are from Paper Artsy. There was a lady in 2 towns over that had a couple of cool stamp sets in Facebook Market, and so I asked her if she would ship, and she said, "Sure." And it was just one of those really cool things because not everybody does this, but she says, "I'll just go ahead and ship them if you want to just mail me a check." So that's how I got all those. I didn't have to pay for overseas shipping and all that stuff from Paper Artsy. But yeah, most of them are, there's probably some Tim Holtz in here too. I'm not sure what I've got. I just stamped a bunch. I'm making the tag book and I need tickets for the hinges. So
is Jean blurry, or is it just my computer? It could be just my computer. Hang on, let me just go to my.
it got blurry on me this morning, so it could be. I don't see it, but
Let me see. Okay, it looks fine now. I'm sorry, it's just like looking at it.
well, I did realize that I didn't turn the autofocus off. You know, when you're setting up a new computer and everything, there's a lot of things you're going to miss.
Oh wow, look, okay, so I kind of went overboard. So these are her small packs. This is her, I think this was like, did she write the name of the color on it? No, this one's like, it looks like a raspberry color, or it's like beautiful. And then I got orange. She had a mini pack in there, orange, and orange came with tea dyed. And you can see she tea dyed all these like really cool book pages as well. And then I got a small batch of purple. She sells in packs of 25 and packs of 10, right, Jean? Am I wrong?
That's right.
And so I got some small 10 packs, and then I got a yellow one that came with tea-dyed. Ooh, girls, I'm going to have to get my shizzle together. Ooh, I got this gray one, too. Guys, yeah. And I did get her autumn pack, which I'll show you guys. I was excited about that. Yeah, I haven't gotten. I don't think any of these are ones I bought before I went to her lifestyle. Oh, thank you. Look, my hottie brought me coffee. I need coffee, guys. I haven't had much coffee. I had like a half a cup. That was very sweet. This is her fall pack. If you go on her Etsy store, I don't remember how much it was. It wasn't. You guys, how many of you have like coffee dyed paper all day long, and like half the stuff you can't use because for whatever reason the paper falls apart or whatever? So this was her fall pack, and it came with, look at all these yummy colors. The brown's gorgeous. It's got like a sheet sparkle to it. Brown. I think this is the color she calls papyrus, and it's gorgeous. It's sort of like like a brown, like a light brown with some deep, rich yellows, like a golden yellow color. And then her oranges, and then her greens and purple, red, black. That was her fall pack. So if any of you are hankering for some beautifully dyed papers, head on over. And I think, what days, does anybody know what? Hi, Lynn. Malia says she coffee dyed papers recently, and the coffee made the paper stink. Oh, girl, I know that one. Hi, Elle. How are you? Hi, Barbara. Every time I see your name, it makes me hungry. Does everybody else feel the same thing? Barb's Chicken Pot Pie Society. I think I love chicken pot pie. So anyway, so I just thought I'd share with you. That was my indulgence. Like I need another thing, but hey, you can never have too many beautiful dyed papers, right? Yeah, I haven't done. I did dye some coffee. I did do some coffee dyed papers not that long ago because it was for a present I was making for somebody. It seemed like, I guess because I've looked at dyed papers for so long, white papers look ridiculous. I'm sure the person.
You want to know a secret?
Sure.
My rusty papers will be in a digital form soon.
Well, then I'll have to. Yes, one more thing I'll have to do to get. Thanks, Jean.
You're
Enabling.
welcome anytime. What are friends for?
I know, right? Hi, Sharon. Sharon says, we're talking about coffee dye papers. Yeah, those are Amy's papers, Elle. I was just showing I indulged myself. Sharon says, Malia, did they smell like vomit? She talked about coffee dye papers. I had some that smelled that way. They would not air out. Oh, girl. Yeah, I can. Yep. So, yeah. So, I didn't need another thing, but can never have too many papers.
Need and want are two different things.
So I think I'm going to do that. Did any of you guys go over and look at in my glue book video? Let me see what the name of the channel is. You guys, I'm terrible. I think the older I get, the worse my short-term memory becomes.
So I'm going to ask a really stupid question.
Sure.
What exactly is a glue book?
I think it's like a collage journal. I think everybody has their own take on it, but I think using the word glue book is less intimidating than collage journal, because I think a lot of people, if you don't, I've always been an artist, just like you've always been an artist. And I think that sometimes people that have not jumped in or even called themselves an artist or been, if you like, I don't think any technique intimidates me. It doesn't mean I'm going to do it well, but I'm just going to jump in and try. So I think a glue book is just something that anybody can do. That I think the word glue book, it's a collage journal in my mind, but I think there's no rules to it. So, yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I guess it's all what you make it. But I think using the word glue keeps it makes everybody feel accessible. Does that sound very accessible? So I found this channel. You guys go and check her out. Let me see if I can cut and paste her link. I was bitching not that long ago that YouTube stopped putting in, letting you find smaller channels. Okay. So the one I just stuck into the description is a small channel. I don't even think she has 200 subscribers. And it's called Linda's Mixed Up Mess. And I don't know, I'm grateful because I was bitching that YouTube was not giving me any sort of, wasn't giving me any, how they refer channels to you. Well, they're referring channels that have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And that, sorry, you guys, and that they don't need my views, So I found this small channel. Hi, Skinny. Hi, Vic. And for whatever reason, I was bitching out loud one day, probably one of my videos or live streams, that I wasn't getting any of these small channel subscriptions. And then this one came up. She has very few subscribers, but she is doing this challenge. And I have to say, I really appreciate it. Where you pick one magazine and you make a whole page. She's making an art journal, but you make a whole collage page just from one magazine. And I was like, oh, that's great for me, because you guys, I'm all about the magazine art, but I'm also like, I have a pile, like I was going to let them go, but one of those things where you're just going to let the pages go, but that there's still some good stuff in there. You're going to let the rest of whatever you've already done your initial harvest, but you're going to let the rest of it go. So I was happy for her challenge. So that's what I'm going to work on today. So go over and subscribe to her, you guys. Check her out. I mean, if you like her, I think she just, she brings like a new flavor. And, and I'm convinced nobody has any new ideas. So I don't know where she got her idea. I have no idea, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do her little challenge. It's fun.
So So I found my book that I'm working on.
Oh, here, I'll put it on you and you can see.
So I want this to be a kit for
You want
the
the book
book
to be a kit?
This tag book.
Hang on. Let me just get to StreamYard. Guys, I'm StreamYard impaired. Okay. All right, go for it. Now we see you.
So this is what is going to be the cover. And then you put it together with the tickets. Okay. I'm going to have to make me some marks so I know where the screen is. And then you'll flip this over and you'll hinge the next one. And I'm just doing some as I go along. I haven't got them all. And this one is the coin envelopes. And then there's a little tag inside of each one of these. I'll decorate them up, but I just put them there so I wouldn't lose them.
You guys, Jane, wait 1 second. You guys, is it blurry on your end? Because when I'm viewing on my YouTube screen, it's blurry. But on my StreamYard screen, it is clear. Just somebody pipe in, give them a chance to say. Elizabeth says that Linda has fun stuff. Linda from Mixed, the new YouTube channel I put in there. She said she has good stuff and she's subscribed. Hi, Joni. And Elizabeth is saying, that's so cool, Jane. Love how you use tickets for the hinges.
Well, it's not my idea.
It's not blurry. Okay, cool.
It's not my idea. Tanya and Lisa were doing their Tuesday and Thursday lives doing these, and I really fell in love with it. But I did talk to them because I really wanted to make this as a kit, and I didn't want to do it without their permission because I want to link their videos too. And so this is kind of, it's just coming together. My favorite one, and it always gets lost, I don't know why, is this one. Because this was this pretty orange paper. And the tag goes like this. And this was already folded and everything, so I just decided to do a flip up. So it'll be decorated on 1, 2, 3 sides. I'm not going to decorate the inside because I don't want all that bulk, but they'll just be hinged together.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I think it's be cool. And I'm doing something a little different than I've done before. I like bright colors, but I like the grungy Victorian old stuff. So I'm using my colored penny papers and the old papers, and I'm mixing them together, and I think I really like it.
Well, I think that's great. I mean, I love it.
Hi, Robin.
Hi, Robin. She spins, please remind me of your first name. I am so bad with names. And I know you've been to many of my streams and many of the other streams that I'm in, and I'm trying to fix the quality of my stream, but I can't. I don't know what is going on. I'm like YouTube impaired. Juanita. How could I forget your name? It's so terrible. I love the name Juanita. So oh my gosh, you guys, so ridiculous. It's been so I think we are in full swing of remote learning. We have already had our first, or let's just say this mama has already had her first run-in with school administration. I'm like, I'm sure my daughter's probably like, Mom, can you just keep your mouth shut? But part of me, I guess, when it's your,
Shelley, you can put it on both of us now.
Okay, hang on 1 second. I will. I was just trying to fix the I'm just trying to fix the whatever it is, not the bandwidth, but the what do you want to call it? The quality, as APG said. I was just trying to fix it. So I'm enjoying the remote learning, Elle, but I will tell you that it's not okay. So I'll put this out there and then you guys tell me what you think, because You guys all have, some of you still have kids in school, and some of you are like teaching and different things like that. So, so we started school a little bit late, because not because we wanted to, but because they were trying to decide whether we were going to go in full time. I mean, whether we were going to go in person or not. And I had requested, she went to Montessori school last year, and I'd requested her records to be sent, but Montessori school starts like, I don't know, a week or two later than a public school. So there was nobody in the Montessori school office, to send the transcripts. Anyway, so we started, and then there was a couple of holidays in there. So we started like a few days late. And hi, Janie. And so we get all of her stuff, and she gets these, assignments, and they're to watch these YouTube videos and do a quiz. Well, they have disabled the kids' computers they can't get any social media on them, because these are school computers, right? So the teacher is giving all of these assignments where you have to watch these YouTube embedded videos and take a quiz. But there's no external link, so I couldn't even have her look it up on her phone. So I called the guidance counselor, and I just said, I need help here. I said, I'm trying to navigate, and I'm new to your school. I'm trying to help and support my child to be as independent as possible. I said, but we can't get into the lessons, because this is a computer given by you, and it's not by the school, and it's not YouTube enabled. And she's like, you're not the first person that's called about that. And I said, well, what topped it off is, I had sent the teacher an email saying we can't get into the lessons, right? Meanwhile, we start a few days late from school, and there's 17 lessons. How do you give, and you guys have to keep in mind, this is like 8th grade, and they're trying to prepare them for high school, where they change classes and all that stuff. So this is one of the 9 classes that she has. And in 4 days, they had 17 assignments. That's overkill, okay? And not only that, but you couldn't get in to even do the assignments, because you couldn't watch the videos. And he didn't give any links in an email, so that you couldn't even watch them like on your phone. So that was the first thing. And the second thing was, she got out. I said, so how, every day she's been going, I said, so how's school? I asked her, and she's like, I really like, she gets enthusiastic. I really like this teacher. You can tell who's really engaging, right? Oh, and this, right? Well, I talked to her after this class, and she just said, ugh. And I said, what happened? She said, and she started to cry. She said, now, mind you, this is like her second. They only meet like every few days, but they give assignments as if they're in class every day, which is off in itself, right? She said, well, she started to cry. She said he humiliated her in front of the Zoom class, not just her, but a bunch of other people, saying they were basically lazy, not doing their homework, or all this stuff. And she said, and in the chat, she wrote, I can't get into it. I'm blocked from YouTube. But he didn't read the chat. So he humiliated her in front of the whole class. So I don't know about you, but my kid is one of those kids that if you do something like that, she doesn't come back. Like, she withdraws. And I was so pissed, you guys. I was so pissed. So when I was talking to the guidance counselor, I said, I need to vent. And I told her, and she was so professional, you guys. She was like, I'm here to support you and your child, and I hear very clearly what you're saying. But she said, although I can help you and talk with the teacher myself, I feel that right now you are so upset that perhaps you need to speak to somebody, a decision maker, not a mediator. Basically call the principal. I can't really do much, So I did. I gave him an earful, and I just talked about, and it didn't even really occur to me until I'm actually speaking with the guidance counselor. So when we went to get our computer from school, the IT guy said, do you guys have internet? And I said, yes, we have internet. He says, well, he says, that's good because we're all out of hotspots. And he said, and the worst part is not all the hotspots work. You know, I live on the island of Maui, and the terrain is very different in all parts of the island. So some people may live down in a valley, and some people may live high up in a mountain, and all go to the same school. So basically, what he was saying to me was, you know, you may not have I'm glad you have a hotspot because not all these hotspots work depending upon where you live. And I started thinking, so I actually listened in on the class where the teacher was being, it reminded me of, were you guys ever in school where it was sit down and shut up, like the 1950s kind of style school? You know, like kids don't have an input, just, you know, like, anyway, it was like that. And it was so, this person I think is just, I don't know. Anyway, so I gave the principal an earful, and I said, I just want you to know that not only my child felt this way, but she's so empathic. She felt so bad for all the other kids. And I said, there are no dumb students, just unsuccessful teachers. You have to teach to where the kid is, and you have to be invested. And that's why I said to the principal, I said, not only did we start a week late to school, well, not quite a week, but a few days, 4 days late to school. So we had all this work to catch up on. I said, we're all navigating a new way of learning. I said, being shoved a bunch of assignments and then told you're dumb or being made to be humiliated because you didn't turn them in. I mean, or you couldn't, and the kid can't even get in to do it. I said, finally, I got him to utter, which was really important. He uttered out of his mouth, it sounds like you're setting them up for failure. I said, exactly. And I was so upset. And I said to him straight out, I said, do I need to send my child to a different school? I said, if you can't meet her needs, and she's one of those kids that she takes it so seriously. She's so conscientious, you know? So that was my dealing. And I'm sure he's like, I never want to talk to that lady again. I was so pissed. But then I started thinking about this, the bigger picture of this. Okay. We're doing remote learning from home, right? In Hawaii, we don't live the same way you live on the mainland. Not everybody has the luxury of having their own room or their own private, you know, our schooling situation, we set up in our dining alcove, right? And people are downsizing here. People are like, because there's no jobs and people are just living on whatever they're getting in unemployment and whatever's coming in. You used to never see but maybe a handful of places for rent available here. Now there are at least 1,000. Every time you log into Craigslist, you'll see 1,000. What that is telling me is people that maybe could have afforded bigger places, and the cost of living is crazy here. People that could have afforded bigger places are now downsizing. Also, people live communally here, like multi-generational families. Even you may have 4 or 5 families living in one home, you know, like the brother, the sister, the aunt, and their children. So I pointed out to the principal, I said, because my daughter said that the guy was also like hazing people who didn't have their videos on. I said 2 things. Haven't you ever been in a class or been in something if you don't have enough bandwidth, you can hear the class, but you can't run the video? I mean, I've done that on Zoom, like when I've attended Zoom classes and Zoom meetings. If I don't have enough bandwidth, if I have my video running, it lags, it's slow, it's, all those things. I said, but add to that, if you're living in a multi-generational household and say your remote learning is in the living room or in the kitchen or somewhere else where other people are, and they still have to be doing their lives, maybe they don't want to be on camera, or maybe they're asleep, like we have shift work, stuff like that here. So, I said, you guys need to be thinking, instead of boxing it all in, you need to be thinking a little broader. So I don't know. We may have to change schools because I can't put her through. We're already going through a stressful situation with this pandemic. I can't put her through being treated less than. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm off my soapbox. Let me read what you guys wrote. Okay. Elsa's good for me. Yep. And then JPG says, I didn't have Mrs. Weeks, but she would pound her desk with a cup and yell at the kids. Oh, I'm sure it's like that. Barbara's saying, good on me. Educators especially must be more sensitive to the needs of our children. I think it's such a much bigger situation than we even imagine. Because think about it. If you're in a poverty situation, which all of it, I'm grateful for what I have because we never live beyond our means. And I'm lucky that I had a really good job, that I get good unemployment, but some people aren't. Like some people were like cab drivers, and there is no unemployment for cab drivers. Do you know what I mean? Some people were, did other things, right? So I feel really fortunate that I still get decent unemployment, but for how much longer will I get it? I don't know. I was just pointing out that, we have to be mindful. There's like all kinds of differences, not just learning differences, but socioeconomic differences. And we don't want to make anyone feel left out because we're not sensitive to what they're going through, Oh, I will. I mean, the best part today, Nana was, I got a phone call this morning I was up, but I didn't answer it. And I wanted my partner to be awake and talk with this gentleman when we together. He called me at 8:00 this morning, the teacher that made my daughter cry. Yeah. What's funny though, Elizabeth, is this morning my daughter went on and she said, or last night my daughter went on and she said, oh, guess what, Mom? All the video assignments were taken down. She said the 18 video assignments that we had past due that we couldn't watch were taken down. I said, well, that's good. I guess that's one good thing that came out of it. I don't know. I just think that none of us, no matter what socioeconomic background we're in, are immune to this, or immune to this pandemic, or immune to the causes. And I don't know. I think maybe I'm too much of a socialist, but I think we need to, and I'm not a socialist. I think we have to look at the bigger picture, what's best for all of us, not just what's best for one. I don't know. How many kids do you have, Jean? You must have been through a bunch of learning stuff with them.
Yeah, I have 2, and we moved to Texas when one was in 7th grade and one was in 4th grade. And I think 4th grade is the hardest elementary year. That's just my opinion. And she struggled a little bit, but my son in 7th grade, because he'd never had Texas history, so he was 100 years behind everybody, and he's more of a visual learner, hands-on kind of thing, and we had a lot of struggles. Yeah. I have a friend here in town. They're doing remote learning here, and I'm not really sure when or if they'll go back to school. I have no idea because I don't have kids in school anymore. And
right.
Anyway, the program they were using in the school is ranked 384 in online school choices.
What?
And it has a 1-star rating from people.
So you mean the program they're using to facilitate online learning?
Right. And there wasn't a math program for her son's age, and he is 9th grade.
Oh, wow.
And so they were having him do physics. And he had the same problem with his computer. He couldn't send things, or he had a problem with his computer, I should say. And so finally she just went up and she said, I just kept talking until I got to the right person. And enough people complained that they took that subject out. And there's I don't know what they're doing for whatever physics was doing, but they're changing it all. And starting to see a change in things. So hopefully, it worked on her complaining and stuff. I
Yeah.
don't know.
But this is the thing that I don't get. Okay, so I respect. Look, my parents were both educators. I grew up in a house of teachers. I have always taught in one form or another. Maybe not like I taught college for a little while. Maybe not to younger children, but well, I can't say that. I did work in a preschool program years and years ago when my older kids were little. Um, but this is what I think any job that I personally have, I take responsibility for saying, is it working or is it not working? Like I don't throw it off on. It's like I said this to the principal. I said, since when? I said, if we could throw the responsibility of learning onto our 10-year-olds, we would have no need for school. And I said, so me as anything that I try to do my best at. And I may not, and I may fail. And I'm good with like, as long as I'm trying or trying to work toward it, I don't have, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's a learning curve for everyone, but it's not the kind of learning curve where you go, well, I'm going to assign all this homework. I'm going to assign all this stuff, but I don't get to know who I'm teaching. I don't get to know who I'm talking to. I don't know the person. It's like there's like I think probably in all of our country there is sort of this space, this between what is and the possibilities of what could be. That what word am I looking for? A gap. You know, Yeah, I don't know. It was ridiculous. APG says she agrees with you, Jean. The fourth grade is the hardest.
I agree, and I think eighth grade is the hardest. In elementary, the middle one. I don't know why. They probably weren't as hard as I thought they were, but it is what it is. Now, I don't know how many know my grandson lived here not far from me, and an hour and a half, and they moved to Virginia a year and a half ago, and they're moving back. I'm so excited. But he's going to be doing virtual school, and we don't even know what school he's going to go to because they don't have a house, and so they're just kind of looking, and so I'm kind of anxious to see how that works. He is very smart. He's been in the gifted and talented programs everywhere he's been, but he's got a heart condition, so therefore he really does need to be homeschooled for the rest of the. I don't know if it'll be for the rest of the year, but so I'm really anxious to see what this brings for him. Anxious and scared both.
I hear you. Well, for us, it's not. I just don't think our school facilities, because in their classrooms are small, there's absolutely no way they can social distance and have 25, 30 kids in a class. They can't. So, so I don't know. I'm sorry for being on my high horse.
Can do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry for being on my high horse, but, I just feel like, I feel like educating our children is all of our responsibility, and I feel like everyone's voice matters, and that it shouldn't be reliant upon whether your child's in a gifted and talented program to receive the equal opportunity of getting the best possible education.
I 100% agree with you.
And I'm a little. I guess I'm lucky because if push came to shove, I could put her in somewhere else. Like I have that option. But I can tell you right now, those other people don't have that option.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was just, and this is the other thing I said, and maybe I'm like a little naive, but I said, wouldn't you test out and see if I'm going to give, like, I know when I'm doing a virtual class, you guys, I have taught sewing virtually. I have taught the most bizarre things that you could possibly teach remotely. I've done, right? Like I've done where I've made videos of, how to sew in a zipper or just different things, right? So I review what I'm going to send out to make sure that it works, right? So I said to the principal, I said, we're 3 weeks into school. I said, and so that means these kids are all behind 3 weeks worth of whatever these assignments he's given. And I said, didn't it dawn on you to test out the programs that each teacher's doing? I said, you're the boss. Doesn't the buck stop with you? Well, he didn't like that.
Go Shelley.
No, it's like, but I said, even why? I said, wouldn't the teacher have tested it out? And I said, I certainly can't be the only person that's had this comment. Of course, he didn't say anything, but I know I can't be. I mean, if my child can't get in to do the homework, who else's child can't get in to do the homework? Everybody, because there's no way to get in to do it. I don't know. Somebody in one of my YouTube chats said she said, I'm going to encourage you to homeschool your child. And, my only reticence, I mean, look, I'm sure that I would be able to teach her much better than what she's been learning right now. But my only reticence was the lack of the social part, because right now going through COVID, there's no social, you know what I mean? Our social interaction is so limited, right? And so that was the only reason, but I might be better suited to eventually do that. And you guys, I didn't want to have that conversation with him. Like I wanted to call him and say, this isn't working. And he would say, okay, I'll check into it. But he was just like, have you ever talked to people that speak down to your ass? I mean,
absolutely.
I was like, oh, no. What?
I said I went ballistic when I was getting something done at my car. And I told that man, I said, don't you treat me like a woman. I have the ability to pay my bills and make my own decisions. Don't treat me like this. I was so mad. Oh.
I'm not laughing at you, Jean, but I think we all have that experience, I call it when teachers do that to you. I call it, they give you the edge of speak. Like they think they're fa-fa, they want to use some like big words. I said, my vocabulary, I have a very good vocabulary. Thank you very much. But you have to meet people where they are. You can't speak to somebody, you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm sure he never wants to hear from me again.
Well, maybe you won't have to.
No, I use the words liability, discrimination, because it is a liability. I said to him, I'm going to video every single class my daughter has from this point forward with this teacher. And if I see any inappropriateness toward anyone, you'll be the first to hear. I'm sure that did not go over well. And I also said, this is inequitable. This is discriminatory, socioeconomically discriminatory against those who don't have the possible facilities to do what you're asking them to do. We're all in this boat together. We're a community. I said, you have to be a leader in this community. I'm sure he doesn't ever want to talk to me again. He asked me why I called him. That was first thing out of his mouth. And you know what I said? I said, why wouldn't I call you? Doesn't the buck stop with you? I mean, why did I call him? I was like, oh my God. Elle says they have free online education here in Florida as well, and her kids took classes from it when you were homeschooling, and it went well. Hey, Elle, I may be heading toward that way. I just, anyway. Barbara says in Italy, and then she names the school Reggio Emilia. Not only school supports the child, but the community is child focused. And our country does not value our children, or our seniors. Barbara, you have hit the nail on the head. You have hit the nail on the head. Happy pills for everyone. Oh, Cindy, please. It was, it wasn't that I was unhappy. I think it was, I was shocked. I was shocked. That's all. I was shocked. I was just so, I don't know. I was just taken back. I was just taken back by the whole, why would I call him? Yeah. I don't know. I guess I've worked at jobs for so long where I'm the one that gets all the complaints, so I would expect anytime I'm in charge of anything, I expect to get the complaints. So I welcome them because how can you improve otherwise? How are you, Miss Cindy? Barbara says, hi, Barbara Clark. She says, the whole thing about school is bringing these issues into all of our awareness. I think it's a good thing. And then we can only thrive when our kids are all educated. I agree with you 100%, Barbara. Yeah, frustrated with the lack of organization, but not even the lack of organization, now, the lack of openness. Because I think when you think that you know everything in any situation, right? As a parent, as a consumer, as a business owner, as anything, then you shut the door to the possibilities of what can become better, right? It's the same thing with an art process. Think about it. So like you watch somebody and you go, oh, wow, that really changed my perception, my perspective of things. It just gives you more options. Candy says when she was in high school, she lived across the street from a school and there was a terrible snowstorm and they did not cancel school. When I went home for lunch, my father told me to stay home the rest of the day. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I would have had my kids stay home too. Sherry says her grandchildren are in their early years. Oh, Sherry, let's hope everything changes by then. Candy says, because the buses never made it to school the next day, when I had my math class, the teacher asked me where I was yesterday afternoon because she had seen me in school in the morning. And I told her Candy's still writing. I am working on my little collage book, and Jean is making a tag book. And I think she's going to end up making kits for Defy with her things. Barbara says to me, I'm glad you're okay. So let me finish Candy's story. My father told me to stay home, and she said, then your father must be very stupid. I stormed out of class. I went home the next day. I got a call from the principal's office with her and my father. You got called to there? I hope your dad gave him a piece of his mind. Barbara says, I'm glad we're talking about this. Shelley, it's also pointing out that every school district, the disparities of poverty brings to a community. Awareness is the first step to fixing problems. I agree 100%, Barbara. I think kindness is free. Kindness, compassion, empathy, understanding, putting yourself in someone else's shoes, no matter where you are, in a job, in school, your community, you can do it. And that was my main point to him. Candy says she was told it was wrong for her to storm out of class, but she was also told that she had no right to talk your parent down. I agree. It's crazy. Hey, Sharon. Sharon says she really feels for teachers, and they're better. She says I really feel for teachers. They are better than me. The job they have is way more than just teaching. I agree 100%. They're trying to parent other people's children the larger part of their day. Very true. Barbara says kindness is free. Now there's a quote that's going on a page soon. Yeah. Sharon, I don't disagree with you, but I think that you have to partner with the student and the parent. Haven't you ever watched a theater program, been involved in some sort of a musical or theater production or something, and you like the stage, the performance is happening and the audience is watching, but the magic happens in that space between. The magic happens there. And that is the same in teaching. It has to be a partnership between the teacher and the student and the parent. And I know not all parents are capable of being as involved, but you have to give it a chance. And I think we haven't really looked at, I think part of us in our society, at least in America, where we're really laxing, is realizing that without honoring our teachers and honoring the student and that magic and the parent, the partnership between the three, that we're not growing educated adults. We're not nurturing free thinkers. We're not nurturing the possibilities of that magic that could happen between what they learn and what they become, you know? Cindy said she got thrown out of school for talking. Oh, I did too. I did that too.
I was a goody two shoes. I never got in trouble. I never skipped school.
Sherry says her daughter is not able to teach. She can't sit long enough, or does she have the energy to teach and raise her three children, one infant and two toddlers? She's a single parent. Well, that's understandable, but that's all the more reason that you need a community of support to help you. Oh, I agree with you 100%, Julie. Julie and Sharon both say that she thinks there'll be a huge shortage of teachers after this pandemic. I agree. Candy says they have no right to put the kids in danger. I agree 100%. And Elizabeth says some just don't care to participate. And you're absolutely right there.
Tammy, that's funny.
Our boys went to school where they were known as we were known as the trouble parents because we cared about our boys' education. So a friend made a shirt and said, "We are the wards. Get over it." I love it, Tammy. Excellent. Elle says she was a bad egg when she was a teen, but and then you became a teacher. I told you guys a story where I got thrown out of. I went to Catholic school. My older, and I was in high school. My last couple of my years of high school. We moved to an area, and that was the best school to go to, as a college prep school. And I got thrown out of sex ed class when they told girls it was all their fault. I mean, you guys, I've done it all. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Oh, please. Hi, Jane. How are you? Latin was the worst. Oh my gosh. I took French and Spanish in school. I was a little bit like your son, Jane. So I grew up in Texas, you guys, but we moved. Texas is a very large state. And I grew up mainly in the Houston area, the Galveston, Houston area. But my last years in high school, we moved when I was in the 10th grade, or maybe I was going into the 11th grade. We moved to the border of Texas and Mexico to a town called Brownsville. And they require you to take, I don't know, 5 years of Spanish, or I don't know, a lot. So I'd been taking French all the time I had been in school. And then all of a sudden, like your son, I had to suddenly, like every other class I had to take was Spanish. It was crazy.
My daughter got some award for Spanish on her grades and stuff, as she can't speak it. Not really.
I can if I'm around other people that speak Spanish, but if I'm left to my own devices, I can't. So Sharon says that she taught sex ed, STD education in high school to high school students and half college day 2 years in a row. And what did she say? She said, well, it was so funny. It's cute. It was, let's see, what did she say? She said she couldn't believe the questions they had, but she had to make it sound so normal, comfortable, and engaging. Sharon, if you could do that, you could speak to anybody. Elizabeth says in high school she thinks she was in suspension more than she was in the classroom. Yeah, I had some issues. I'm not going to lie. I think we're all born with our own like little whatever it is, right? And mine was definitely like standing up for other people and the underdog kind of thing. I didn't like any sort of thing like that. So I definitely. Sharon says, they were comfortable in asking me in front of each other. Now that was a win for me. I hear you, girl. I don't know, but I just know this. As women, and if any men are watching, I'm not trying to derogatorily put you down, but as women, we are the way makers for things. And if we can all stand up and say, this is not acceptable. We want what we want. I mean, we run our families. We create, we teach our kids. We're our children's first teachers. I think if more of us just stand up and say, this is not acceptable to me, it'll shift. Elizabeth says she's definitely learned from her experiences, and she hopes that she passed on the positive aspects. I'm sure you did. How many of you had a teacher that really made a difference in your life? I think that's why women become teachers, because we've each had that experience where a teacher really saw us, listened to us, made us feel special, important, seen, heard, validated, and we become teachers ourselves because of it, right? So, and that's what I said to him too. It wasn't all me being so shocked. I just said, I love teaching. I loved when I taught. I loved my students. I think I learned more from them than they learned from me. And I said, each of us has had that teacher that means the world to you, that really changed your outlook. I don't know if he believed me, but
I have a teacher, or had a teacher, that really, what she taught me was so useful as an adult, but had nothing to do with learning. And it's kind of silly, but if you had the hiccups and you'd go up and ask if you could go get a drink of water, she would ask us to hiccup for her. If we could hiccup, we could go out and get a drink of water. But 9 times out of 10, it got rid of our hiccups. And I don't know why, but I still remember that as vividly as anything else. And, that was in junior high. So I was, that was many years ago.
Yeah, so, that's an awesome thing. I'll have to try that next time. I mean, one of my kids gets the hiccups really bad. I never heard that. That's so funny. Okay, what did Elizabeth say? Barbara said she had several teachers in her life that made a huge difference. And Cindy said, I can't believe you just bypassed that pillfish. No, I'm going to go back and use it. The goal of this collage, Cindy, was following, oh my gosh, you guys, what's her name? This is like how silly I am. I can't remember. Following Linda's Mixed Up Mess, where she says, make one page out of one book. So I'm making this page. So the pill one just won't go on this page. It'll go on another page. The pillfish, yeah, no, I looked at it right. Elizabeth said she became a teacher to hopefully become the type of teacher she never had. I think that's awesome. I really think that's awesome. And my youngest one, if you talk to her, she'll tell you right out. She'll say, if you ask her, what do you want to do? She'll say, I want to be a teacher. And I really think that even though she's had her own set of whatever she's going through, I think that's a really beautiful thing. So I don't know, you guys. I think this whole pandemic has made all of us kind of look at our lives and go, what in the world? At least it's made me feel that way. I don't know about you guys. It's definitely made me feel like made me feel like, what in the world have I been doing? But I'm digging this massage. You made one of these magazine collage books, didn't you, Jean?
Oh, yeah.
They're I'm sort of addicted to them. It's really ridiculous.
Hey, I love making books out of magazines.
I do too. But the downside for me is that if we really are moving, I'm not going to be able to take all this stuff with me. I moved to Hawaii with a few suitcases, and honestly, that's what I'll leave with, because everything else I think I can. I may mail some craft supplies to my mail some craft supplies to my father-in-law's house.
Just make sure they're good ones. If he may think that it's just somebody's trash.
Well, no, I don't think he'll even open the mail. It would be kind of cool if he did. He won't think it's somebody's trash. He used to send my daughter. He was a turkey hunter. He was a big animal vet. I love this, but it doesn't really. He was a big animal vet. So one of my daughters used to make. She put herself through college making feather earrings, making feather headpieces, feather earrings, and he used to mail her turkey feathers, wild turkey feathers, with part of the carcass still on them, in salt. So I think him, of all the people, he'll think it's okay. No, Joni, I don't know if we are. It's the possibilities out there. My partner, his dad has early onset Alzheimer's, and he's had it for a while, but it's gotten worse. And it's gotten worse to the fact that now he can't drive. Well, he can drive, but anyway, nobody wants him to drive. And so he's still incredibly active. Like he runs a number of miles a day, and his long-term memory is good. His short-term memory is terrible. So we're just trying to figure it out. We're in the discussion phase. We're in the discussion phase. So I'm going through my Crafty supplies, and I'm purging, and I even started listing stuff in my Etsy shop, which I haven't done in a long time, just because some of the stuff is like really good stuff, and you don't want to you want it to find a good crafty home. You don't just want to dump it, And so that's what I've been going through. So I don't know yet. Hi, Laura. And Barb says the pandemic has enabled. Let me see. Let's see. Barb says the pandemic has enabled us all to stop the ongoing movie of our lives and reach through into something new. Not all of us will find the new, but we have that opportunity. How beautiful. I think, Barbara Clark, that is going to go in my journal, right?
That's very pretty.
It is beautiful. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. It's well said. So beautiful. Elizabeth, you know how lucky you are. I mean, I'm in awe of you. First of all, I think you're just one of the most amazing beings. And if you guys haven't subscribed to Elizabeth's channel, it's Never Hopeless Elizabeth. It's such a beautiful. She does I love her videos and stream of consciousness and everything. I really appreciate it. But how lucky are you and your daughter? So Elizabeth said she was being a hermit until her daughter needed a teaching assistant, and then she stepped up to help her. And I said, when I saw that for myself, I thought, I feel like having, during this pandemic, I've had my grown kids. They're stuck here, basically. Not that they want to be here, but they're stuck here. They were living in China, and they can't go back to that, So they're sort of stuck here. And so I feel incredibly fortunate that I feel like I'm getting a second, an extra inning. Does that sound silly? But do you know what I mean? Like an extra inning with your kids. Maybe to some of you, that's not something that you would even consider, but for me, and I don't say it to them because I don't need to be that parent that's oh my God, my mother's just so whatever. I'm already that parent. But I feel like I'm getting, and I am, my kids probably, I know they sit around and go, oh, she's ridiculous, but it's all good. But I feel like I'm getting an extra inning with my kids. Your kids grow up and then they go away. And then, I feel like I'm getting something extra.
I know that feeling because I think my daughter is going to stay here until she finds a job because there's not necessarily enough room um, where her husband's staying. And I'm really anxious, and she doesn't know this, and she doesn't ever watch videos I'm on, so I'm safe. But she's going to be put to work. I need some organization, and she's good at it. So.
But I'm just grateful. I have to tell you guys, I feel like I know before long my kids, the pandemic will be over and they will be back to living their lives abroad and happy and doing all the things they want. But I also feel like for my youngest daughter, she's getting, my oldest daughter's 28, my youngest daughter's 14. They've been stuck here now for a while. So, I mean, and they always come to visit, but there's a difference in that relationship when you can build it every day than on a vacation, for me at least. I have to read your next comment. Let me see. Read your next comment. Let me see. I'm sorry. I'm trying to cut. Cutting is not. Oh, you said you're amazing, Elizabeth. I appreciate you. I really do. I appreciate each and every one of you. Hi, Christine. How are you? Hi, Mary Lou. If I didn't say hi to you guys, chat me in all caps, okay? Because I'm trying to I don't know. For me, I just feel like when I grow up, I still can't figure that out. But I know one thing that I do. I want to feel like when I go to bed every night, I want to have that satisfied feeling of I did my best. You know what I mean? Not like, oh, I barely got through another day. But I did my best. So I don't know. They're trying to rethink how our island is going to work, which is going to be very interesting to me because we've slowly. I'm thinking it's going to be interesting to see how we come to how we can navigate not having so many tourists. Because our economy solely survives on tourism here. Elizabeth says to me, Shelley, I love being with my daughter, Cindy Bill, but now I'm thinking, what the hell was I thinking? Oh, girl, I get that. I get it. Oh, Jenny said her son lived with her while he did graduate school, and she feels like they got closer because of it. Bye, Mary Lou. Big hugs. Oh, you're going to get to call your dad. How lovely is that?
Enjoy. I call my dad.
No, we are really trying to think. We're trying to really rethink about how our island will work because, it's the island I live on is tiny compared to and we cannot possibly sustain the tourism. We were having 30 to 50,000 tourists a day. You guys, it was killing the ocean. It was not great. So we have to rethink how it's going to work. Okay, I'm going to look at this page. See if I can figure it out better. See, I shouldn't have glued that down first. See, that's my problem. I glued it down first. So I don't know. We're trying to rethink it. So, I mean, there's lots of talks about, growing food and different things like that. There's lots of conversations about becoming self-sustainable, because I think at one point in time it was fairly self-sustainable here, but now because it's cheaper to grow things in other places, people are we're not as self-sustainable and growing as we were. Does that make sense? We're not growing all our own food like we were here before. Elizabeth says maybe this is the world's way of resetting. I think so. You guys, our oceans are so clean. I mean, somebody every day remarks on how they, how they went snorkeling and how much cleaner it looks, and it's been I mean, in some ways, it's been really good for us, for the island itself. But as far as figuring out how an economy can exist here without that, that has been the main goal of everyone. It is mind blowing how the earth is cleaning itself, right? Joni said she went over to Recycle Bank today and she got 2 more magazine subscriptions. I get it. If you guys haven't joined Recycle Bank, that's a great place to get free magazines if that's something you want. This page is not working for me. I don't know what I'm doing. Have you guys ever like had that experience where like some pages they just come together so easily and you're just like, oh, that was great. And then other pages you're just like struggling and struggling and struggling. That can't just be me. Maybe it is just me.
When my pages don't come together, I just go on to the next one.
Yeah, I hear you. I live on the island of Maui, Jane. I live in the Hawaiian Islands. Which, can I add, is not for the faint of heart. It is not for... It's not for those of you who need lots of amenities, because you don't have it here. I mean, you might have it at a hotel, but you don't have it. You don't have it. It'll be interesting because I think we hardly have any shopping. Like, we have one little shopping mall, and it has like a Sears and a Macy's and not a lot of stuff in it. And I think Sears is going. So that'll leave Macy's, and I don't know how long Macy's will last. Hi, Arlene. How are you? You're leaving? I'm sorry if I didn't say hi to you. I didn't see you earlier. Sorry. It's in my cutting phase. You're in the middle of Canada, Jane? Ooh. Everybody type in where you're from. That's always kind of fun for everybody to see. Jane's in Hobbs, New Mexico, and I am in Maui, Hawaii.
Jamie, we still have a here too.
What did you say, Jane?
Jamie said, y'all have a Sears, and I just said, yeah, we still have one here.
Ordering things is iffy here. It really is. Some things some people don't realize that Hawaii is just part of the United States, and they go, we do not ship to a foreign country. I mean, you guys can get all kinds of stuff. Okay, let's see where we're. Houston, Texas. Tanya, I was born and raised in Houston. Well, in Galveston, you know where that is. Manitoba, Winnipeg, Canada, where it's nice and warm. Barbara, you're in Winnipeg, Manitoba too? You and Sherry must be neighbors. I don't know how big Winnitoba is. Hi, Ashley. Nebraska. Oh, I love Nebraska. I haven't been on a long time. Minnesota. Freezing cold, Shelley.
We're at Nebraska,
Department Minister of all time. Joni, we're in Nebraska. Brandon, Manitoba, Canada's chilly. Minnesota, they have the best department store. My sister used to live in, oh my gosh, I can't remember exactly in Minnesota, but I've been many times. It'll come to me. But used to go visit her for Christmas, obviously freezing there. They have a great department store called Von Mars Department Store. It was like an old-fashioned, really amazing. I don't know if they still have it there, department store.
I have family in Nebraska. I'm originally from Kansas.
APG says her husband was born in New Mexico, and he says that's another country. North Carolina, South Florida. The Carolinas are gorgeous. Joni says she lives in the southeast near Lincoln. Ashley lives in South Carolina. And Grayson, Georgia. Nice. Happy Ray.
Janie, I'm originally from Great Bend, Kansas, right smack dab in the middle of the USA. Or really
Jane
close.
says it's minus 40 degrees Celsius. What? You guys, I have to tell you, my big reticence on the moving thing is I haven't done cold weather in so long. I don't know how good I'll be at it. Oh. Hi, Anne. Anne says many, many years ago, she bought a bathing suit and a bottle of vodka at Walmart. We do have a Walmart. We have a Walmart. We have a Target. We got a Target a couple years ago. You would have thought that we'd gotten, like, I don't know, Bergdorf Goodman. If you're from New York, you'll know what that is. It's like a fancy department store. You would have thought when we got a Target that it was as prime as Bergdorf Goodman. So ridiculous.
We don't have a Target. We have a Walmart and a Walgreens and a CVS. That's our choices. That's why I had to order my toaster and order my can opener.
Yeah, but you can probably drive to one, can't you?
A Target is an hour and a half drive one way and an hour and 30 minutes, or an hour and a half or hour and 30 minutes, an hour and a half or an hour and 45 minutes. Okay. Depends on if I'm going to Lubbock or Odessa.
Get it? Well, just think about me. I'm on an island, so we can't drive anywhere. Cannot drive anywhere. So I'm going to use this piece.
Hi, Jersey. I didn't see you come in.
So I've been making these crazy, and I'll have to show them to you guys next time, but they're in the other room because my sewing machine's in the other room. And I've been sewing like all kinds of fabrics and fabric scraps and stuff to it. I've been making these traveler's notebooks. Guys, I think I'm obsessed. Like, have you ever started making something and then you just can't stop? And just making it. That's kind of where I'm at. So I've been trying to, I guess maybe I've been crafting my frustrations out. I don't know. It's probably what's really going on for me is I'm just crafting my frustrations out. So I'm making these traveler's notebooks, and I'll show them to you guys next time. And I've used some of them. I've already collaged in some, but I've been having fun trying to use up. This was my goal, and this may be silly, but how many of you have been hoarding some special craft supplies? Like, you just love it so much. It's like silly. It could be like rusty papers, rusty fabric, special trims, but it's not like a ton of stuff. It's not enough stuff to where you could like, little bits and pieces. So that's what I've been doing. So I've been using up my favorite little bits and pieces for things that I've kept for, who knows what was going on in my head when I decided to keep it. But that is what I've been doing. And you should see my poor hottie. He's like, oh, guys. I'm like using stuff. And he's like, oh, well, that's cool. Or that's interesting. And you can hear in his voice, he's probably like going like, what the hell is that? But, he didn't really say it like that. He just goes, oh, that's nice. Oh, that's interesting. Does your husband ever do that to you, Jean? Jean, you're muted. You muted yourself.
Well, I've been just talking up a storm.
And you muted yourself. I was like, why am I talking to myself?
Yes, my husband does that. He is very supportive after I start whining. He's really supportive.
So I've been doing that.
We've been married for 40 years.
That's awesome. Married for 40 years. That's a great accomplishment.
Sometimes I think it's just because I would have to get a job.
Oh, no. You know what? I think being married is a job. I'm serious.
Definitely.
So I told you guys, like, I don't know how many streams ago, but my middle daughter has decided she's getting married. She's not waiting till the pandemic's over. And so she's getting married, which I'm happy for her. But, it's not exactly the way she planned it. Like, it's not coming out exactly the way she wanted it to, because obviously she can't, because it's a pandemic and, So she's getting, I think she's getting married on a Wednesday. It's like, I think it's next Wednesday. Anyway, I told her she's not, we can only gather in a group of 10. And so between our family and his family, we are the 10 people, and her best friend who she went to school with here, he moved to Arizona a few years ago. He flew in. So he's quarantining while he's waiting, because you have to quarantine 14 days when you come here. So he's quarantining for 14 days so that he can go to her wedding. And where she's getting married, my sister was super disappointed, because not that she's getting married, but that she couldn't be here. But my sister lives in Northern California, and they just couldn't possibly come quarantine for 14 days for it. You know what I mean? Quarantine 14 days prior to the wedding. So my sister was so sweet. She was like, well, videotape it. And I said, yeah. And I mentioned it to my daughter, and she says, well, she hired somebody to do the photography. I don't know if they're going to videotape it. My sister goes, well, why don't you live stream it or Zoom it? Because she's getting married where there's no Wi-Fi. My sister, I felt so bad. I said, you'll just be there in spirit. So we'll see her I'm going to make her a wedding cake. I'll show it to you guys it's not going to be like a regular wedding cake. It's just going to be a dairy-free chocolate cake, because that's her favorite. And I'll show you guys. I'm making her wedding cake toppers. I'll show you what they look like when I finish them. So we'll see. Hopefully it'll come out good. And her sister, I should go get the ring. Her sister and I have been making the rings. Just been a whole nother ordeal. Primarily because I haven't made jewelry in so long, like fine metalsmith jewelry, that finding all the bits and pieces that were in my... If you've never metalsmithing is like a pain in the butt. Is that a nice way of putting it?
Yep.
It is a lot of work. And she wanted a certain kind of ring that I used to make all the time years ago. It was like, oh my God, I don't even know if I have the supplies for it. So we'll see how it all turns out. Hopefully she'll like whatever we do, and hopefully it'll all be, and I guess if she doesn't, what can we do about it, right? She didn't
True.
like it. I don't know. I tried to talk her into waiting a year. I said, why don't you guys? And she's like, whatever. Kids.
Mm-hmm.
I just said, okay.
Both of mine got married in the same year.
Oh, wow.
One in May and one in July. June.
And how was that for you guys?
We ate a lot of beanie weenies.
You ate a lot of beanie weenies?
Yep.
Gene, I haven't heard the word beanie weenie since I was a kid. Oh my God, my grandmother used to make us beanie weenies. Oh Lord help me, I love it. Yeah, we ate a lot of beanie weenies.
You gotta remember, Shelley, I'm old.
No, you're not old, Gene. I love you so much. We ate a lot of beanie weenies. Oh my God, I have to call my sister and ask her. Tell her. I said my friend Jean was talking to me today about beanie weenies. Oh, hugs to you, Tanya. Oh my God, Jean, I love it. Oh my God. How many of you guys called Beans and Frank's Beanie Weenies? It can't just be me and Jean. Maybe it's just me and you, Jean, that called it Beanie Weenies.
I don't know. I thought that was its name. I didn't think about it as anything else.
Oh my God. Beanie Weenies. I haven't even thought about Beanie Weenies in years. Sharon says she loves Beanie Weenies. Oh my God. Beanie Weenies. Oh, Joni says her kids loved Beanie Weenies when they were young. Me too. That's what you call them too, Sharon. Beanie Weenies. You too, Tanya. Yeah, but we're from Texas, so. Oh my God. Janice. Hi, Janice. She says she still has Beanie Weenies once in a while. Oh, well, Lord help me.
I'm from Kansas, so that doesn't. I guess I just pick on whatever character.
What's that? Beanie Weenies, Linda McAllister puts in question marks.
No, we don't put weenies in our chili.
Say it again, Jane. You were muffled.
Oh, I forgot.
We don't put weenies in our
chili. I'm from Kansas, so
definitely don't.
It can't necessarily be a Southern thing because.
Jean, we can't hear you all of a sudden.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but it's cutting in and out. Are you talk a little bit, Jane? Let's see if we can hear you.
Okay. Hello, my name is Jean.
No, I can hear you.
I'm a junkaholic.
Hello, my name is Jane.
Yep, junkaholic. I haven't gotten very far today. So does anybody have any really good washi tape? And where would I find that? I got boxes of washi tape. And all of a sudden I've decided to start using it. Kind of like my die cut machine. Uh-oh. Did Shelley disappear? It's because she was talking about the Wi-Fi. So it decided to get even with her, I think. Cool, Jersey. I need to make some more. I got some digitals I'm working on, but I need my painty papers to do it. So I don't know. One of these days soon. This is a nice thing about StreamYard. If somebody goes off.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
I'm going to try to, where did Jean go? Oh no.
I'm here.
Okay, well, you're here. Okay, good. I don't know. You know what it is? I think it's the remote learning, the bandwidth, you know?
Yep, that's what I decided. You were complaining about the internet and stuff, and so it just decided to show you who's boss.
Exactly. It happens all the time. Or maybe the kid that lives behind us decided to start gaming, which also happens all the time at the worst times for me, but you know, it's good for him, so it doesn't matter. Oh my God, I needed that laugh. Thank you, Jean. I love, you know, Beanie Weenies are different for everyone. I'm sure it's like English beans on toast, right? It was like a staple when I was growing up, Beanie Weenies, right?
Oh, yeah.
My mom, we used to make it with chili beans, and you could make it with regular hot dogs, or you can make chili beans with like a sausage, or you could do it with baked beans and hot dogs. I think kids like better baked beans and hot dogs, don't you think?
That's what we did, was baked beans and hot dogs.
Yeah.
So do you like SpaghettiOs?
I love SpaghettiOs, but I've been on the stupid low carb diet, which has not been
Yeah.
stupid. You guys made me feel 1,000% better, so I shouldn't complain. I have not had any pasta or anything in like over a year, maybe longer. I haven't
I'm
had
so
anything
sorry.
like that. No, it's at Jane. You know what? It is actually. I did it because one of the women in our group, um, Valerie, one of the women in Crafty Mamas, she was talking about her fibromyalgia and how it vastly improved when she went on a keto diet. And I don't know if for any of you have ever had that. I have had it for a long time, and I don't really talk about that sort of stuff because I don't really like to be associated with those. You know what I mean? Like when somebody has cancer, they don't want to be associated with like, oh, my friend so and so has cancer, right? So I don't really talk about it. But I used to be in a lot of pain, and I couldn't take it. Pills and me don't work. Like
I see your messages, Tanya.
But I'm sorry, I'm missing everybody's messages because I'm not in that frame anymore. I see your comments, Tanya. Sorry, girl. Bye, Tanya. We love you, girl. Sorry, I got off. I got booted out for a second. No, so Valerie talked about one day in one of our live chats. She talked about how it really helped her fibromyalgia. Well, that was all I needed to hear, So I've been doing it more than a year now, and I've lost some weight. Probably not as much as I could because you have to eat a whole lot more than I normally eat. So anyway, but I will tell you, I have been virtually pain-free almost immediately. It was like night and day. So as much as I love all those things that I'm not eating, I am not. To be pain-free when you've had chronic pain for years and years and years, it's like becoming a new person. And I'm not saying it'll work for everybody like that. It just worked for me like that. I mean, but I did it because she said it worked for her. And so my whole family has been on this way of eating with me. And my hottie says he's probably in the best shape of his life. He's probably in the best shape he's ever been in. He didn't even need to lose weight or do anything, but just by eating low carb, he has. So I would love some SpaghettiOs, but they probably wouldn't love me back.
Probably not, if you're not used to having any of that. I need to try the no carbs. I really do, because I don't know what I have, if eczema, psoriasis, something or other like that. And the more carbs I eat, the worse my skin gets.
You know what I think it is? I think it's the chemicals that they have that we're like not even aware of that is in our food. Like like the preservatives and chemicals they grow the food with.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that's what it is. I'm not 1,000% sure. I mean, I can just tell you from the trial and error of my own dieting, and it has made me feel so much better. My daughter has mastered, my oldest daughter, the one that's visiting, has mastered making keto pancakes. And can I tell you, oh my God, I didn't realize how much, I love pancakes, but I hadn't thought about them. But she was like, I feel like pancakes. And she found this recipe. And then of course she did her own thing to it because she's like that, anyway. So she made us like keto chocolate chip pancakes yesterday. We had breakfast for dinner, which I love. We had bacon and keto, right? We had bacon and keto chocolate chip. She made chocolate chip, cinnamon ones, and plain ones, but I think the chocolate chip ones are my favorite. And not only is it carb free, it is sugar free. So if anybody was like diabetic, you could have it, and it was so good. Okay, this page was a struggle, but I finally worked it out. Let me see what you guys are saying. Jamie, I have had everything checked. It's just, it's like, What do you guys? What's delicious? What did I miss? Janet. Hi, Janet. Janet, have you guys gone over and subscribed to Janet Nash's channel? I love your voice, Janet. She said she's been making American pancakes with oatmeal instead of flour. Well, on keto, you can't even have oats. So this one is made with almond flour, and I think almond flour, eggs, I think some vanilla extract, something called monk fruit sugar, which is monk fruit is a fruit. I think it grows in China. What did you try in a slow cooker? What do you guys? I missed the cooking. I missed the cooking thing. But anyway, if anybody wants it, just message me below and I'll email it to you. Put your email in the chat box when the video's up, and I'll message you the recipe. It's so good. All right, so this one is not as good as my last page that I did using Linda's technique, but it's okay. It's getting me to use up my bits. You know, it's like, yeah. How many of you have like gone through your collage fodder and you like see your stuff and you're like, oh, I love that image, right? And you're just like, oh, I can't throw it away. That's me.
I didn't know. Oh my God, what was I thinking?
Baked beans. That's what you're talking about? Oh, I love baked beans. I do. But you know what? On keto, you can't have beans either. But it's all good. Malia says she can't get rid of everything. She has an occasional potato, and I do enjoy a little sweet something. Oh, I have the best recipes for keto desserts. I mean, I'm telling you, I have a sweet tooth. I think that's my biggest downfall is my sweet tooth.
Fruit?
You can have fruit. The lower carb fruits are going to be like strawberries, blueberries. I think even watermelon, grapefruit, that sort of thing. I have made I've made a keto cheesecake with blueberries, with a blueberry sauce, which is really good. I have a smoothie. You know, I make a smoothie with strawberries and blueberries and put some protein powder in it and that sort of thing. I mean, I kind of. Okay, Barbara's telling me, just go to YouTube and look up an almond flour banana cake recipe. Okay, I can look that up too. No, you know what it is for me? I'm eating things that have less preservatives in it. And zero sugar. Lots of spice though. I like spicy food. I can make a really good Indian curry or Thai curry. I don't know. I'm just it's better. It's just better for me. I'm not saying it works for everybody because I don't know. You know, in all honesty, if Val hadn't talked about her lack of fibromyalgia, I might not have ever done it.
You're talking spicy. I have to tell you, my grandson and my son-in-law were the first to move back because my grandson can start school. My son-in-law's going to start work. And they took the exit to come into Odessa that was absolutely closest to their favorite Mexican restaurant. My son-in-law was ecstatic. He hasn't had Mexican food other than anything they may have cooked for over a year and a half.
And now, when you grow up in Texas, Mexican food is a huge part of your food. You know,
exactly.
Yeah, I understand. I get it. I love spicy food. I mean, I know it's not for everybody, but I really love spicy food. I mean. Yeah. All right. These are all my little bits that I've left in here. I was just trying to see. This I made out of a Wired magazine. I don't know that I would ever make another journal out of a Wired magazine. The pages are so, I had to glue 3 pages together to make it, and it's still flimsy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's a magazine that my hottie likes to. He likes Wired magazines, so he reads all that techie stuff.
I'm going to use my first piece of my ledger, 1897.
You're using your head. Did you scan any of it?
Not this page, but I have plenty. I have
Oh,
an entire one about 1.5 inches thick. So
you should totally scan some. I got the best ledger from Johnny's auction. Oh, I don't know, a month or so ago, maybe longer than that. You guys' time has been standing still for me. And I've just been petting it. I mean, it's completely falling apart, but it's got a ton of writing on it, and it's so ridiculous, I know, but you guys couldn't understand you get my dilemma. I'm petting the journal. I mean, petting the ledger. So crazy. There has been a ton of sales lately. What's going on with that? Is everybody doing like we are, purging your Crafty stash, just wanting to get it all out? Ton of sales. It was such a gorgeous one. I'm going to definitely scan some pages of it. I just haven't done it yet. It's such a nice one. I haven't. Yeah. Got like three ledgers from her. Some of them were not written in, so those I'll cut up and put into my junk journals, but the other ones are just, yeah. You use Jerusalem artichokes? I haven't done Jerusalem artichokes, Candy. But you know what? They used to have a Jerusalem artichoke flour pasta that a million years ago, when I was in my 20s, I ate because I was allergic to wheat. And I haven't tried it since, but I do make some cauliflower. I make cauliflower rice. I haven't really made cauliflower mashed potatoes, but I could. Yeah, I like cauliflower fried rice too. I think it's great. Love it.
And I can eat cauliflower any way you fix it.
Oh my gosh, I have this Indian recipe for cauliflower. Spicy, so good. Make it lemon, turmeric. Oh, so good. But the pancakes were like amazing. Did not expect her to. I didn't expect the pancake thing to be so good. Even my poor hottie was like, he was like, those pancakes, I want the. He was so funny. I said, we're having breakfast for dinner because he was out. I said, we're having breakfast for dinner. I was like, what? I said, oh, she made some pancakes. He was so excited. He was so excited. Even he says he feels better. I do eat broccoli pretty much every day, Malia. I eat broccoli, cauliflower, green beans, asparagus, that sort of thing. I haven't made the cauliflower pizza. Is it good, Barb? Is it easy? They use cauliflower for pizza crust. I haven't made that. There's this really wonderful, she's actually a vegan keto person, which I think would probably be really hard, but I don't know since I've never been that. But she does a channel on YouTube. Her name is Heavenly Fan, and she has the recipe for probably one of the best keto breads, and it's vegan, so it doesn't have any eggs or anything in it. So for people with egg allergies, that's a good thing. She has a vegan bread recipe keto bread recipe that I've been making probably since I found it. Which I don't know how long she's had it on her channel, but yeah, it's definitely worth trying if you guys are into. She's got one making and you can use it for pizza crust too. She's got one where she makes it with almond flour and one where she makes it with almond flour and with coconut flour. So it's super good. So Jean, when are you going to have your? Are you making? You're going to make kits for the Defy. Are you going to? First of all, are you going to auction off one of your tag journals for the Defy auction?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm really liking this, so you know how it is. Are you going to make another one? Probably not.
Yeah, I think I have a little ADD in regard to that.
But I really like this. I really, really do. I will probably. I do try to use my own things when I make the prototype, and then I'll use stuff that comes in the kit when I do the video. Not always, but usually.
I still haven't done my Padfolio. I was going to make my Padfolio into Traveler's Notebook. I haven't done it yet, though.
I haven't started mine, and it's kind of crazy because we got ours early, so we could.
Yeah, but I think we had the auction. We had a bunch of other stuff that I had to do, and for me, it was just like one of those things where it just didn't gel with my.
But I put it off because I'd already printed all the pages that my program would allow.
Oh, you mean you have one of those? You have one of those print how many pages, and then I have to get a new printer. Part of me doesn't want to do anything until I know if we're moving or not, because this is how it rolls with me. I finally like. Oh, you'll send me the YouTube link next time. Oh, okay, cool, Barb. I'll look it up too. I buy something. How many of you are like this? So you finally break down. You're like, I'm going to buy that, whatever it is that you've been putting off forever. And then you have like a major life change. And that's my fear right now, because I don't want to buy a bunch of stuff. Then I'm going to find out, okay, we definitely have to go take care of my father-in-law. So,
yeah, I can relate to that totally. We put, for Mother's Day, it must have been 95. We added on to our garage in Kansas, made it a double car garage, but it was really, really long. So we ended up almost like a 4-car garage if you went end to end. And I got half of it. And that was where I did all my crafts and everything, because I used to do shows all the time. And in October, we were told we were being transferred to Odessa, Texas.
Oh my gosh.
So that was all good. I was kind of disappointed because, my art room that I really wanted was no more. And so jump ahead a whole lot of years. We were in Odessa, and we finally got the sunroom the way I wanted it. Our house was kind of weird. It had when the realtor called it a sound room, the people that had lived there had a little room in the sunroom that they had used as a sound room. And
what do you mean a sound? What do you mean a sound room? Explain that to me.
Like their music room.
Oh, okay.
And anyway, so we took the walls down and did some rearranging. I had the whole sunroom. I mean, we lived there for quite a while before we did that. Got that all the way I wanted it. We moved in October again. So wow. I'm not ever changing this room because I don't want to move again. I don't want to stay here, but I don't want to move.
I understand. I totally relate. Well, that's why I haven't bought myself I need a printer. I need a new printer. I've needed one for a while. But I'm just not, I'm just not gonna, it's like, I'm not, because at the moment I buy it, we'll definitely get the call to move. And I'm just like, so I'm just putting it off. So I haven't really participated, although I have bought many of CARE's printables. I have not printed them out. Oh, good night, Elle. I'm sorry. I'm in the middle of trying to cut and glue. Elle's leaving us. Big hugs to you, girl. We love you and hang in there. You know, we're here for you, totally supporting you and sending you lots of love, and your daughter too. And we appreciate the essential work you're doing on all our behalves. All its moms do. And we love you, girl.
Bye, Elizabeth.
Yeah, so I mean, I've bought some of those printables from Care, but I haven't printed them out. And so I think for me, yeah. It's one of those things where I'm like, you know, I don't want to. For me, every time I buy myself new dishes, we move. So when we moved into this house, I didn't buy any dishes. No, well, what happened was, this is so ridiculous. So, when I moved to Hawaii, and I've lived here 11 years, going on 12 years.
Bye, Jersey.
Bye, Laura. Love you, girl. We got to chat about soccer. Good for you, girl. Chatting some soccer chat. No, whenever I moved into a little house and bought myself a set of dishes, and then I moved into another house straight away because I'm a cook, and the house that I had rented, they said that the stove and everything worked, but it didn't. And you know, for me, I can't possibly live without cooking. You know, there's some people that are just, you know, all about whatever, you know, the fast food or eating out or microwaving. For me, it was like cooking. So I had to move. So I bought a set of dishes and I moved. Then I moved into this house that I lived in for a long time. And I finally got around to buying myself. I used to have an antique set of Fiesta ware. I love colorful dishes, you know, and I loved, before I moved to Hawaii, I used to have lots of different kinds of dishes. Like one year I traveled to Italy and I bought myself a set of dishes there. All kinds of stuff, right? But I obviously didn't move that stuff here. So I broke down and I finally broke down one Christmas and bought myself a set of Fiesta ware. And then my job transferred me for 5 minutes. Well, the job I worked for here they moved their corporate headquarters from Hawaii to Las Vegas. So for a while I was traveling back and forth. I ran a bunch of art galleries. So I was flying from Las Vegas to Maui all the time. And they also had a gallery. They had 2 galleries in Las Vegas. They had one gallery in Laguna Beach. And then they had another gallery in New York. So I was flying a lot. I was traveling all the time. And so I finally decided, after like a huge deliberation with my family, they decided they would move to Las Vegas with me. You know, because I was traveling so much, it was not so good. So we moved to Las Vegas. I finally buy myself the same Fiesta ware that I had bought myself right before I moved. Right, you know, the same Fiesta ware. I finally bought myself, and my job transferred me back. So I was just like, ugh, you know. So I didn't keep them. So I said, you know, every time I buy dishes, we move. So when we got back here, I had given away all my Fiesta ware, given away everything from when we'd moved. When we got back, I said to my hottie, I said, I'm not buying anything. I said, zero. I said, we'll just have to deal with what we have. So one of my girlfriends gave me all her mismatched dishes, which are fine with me. So every now and then he always says, I'm going to buy you some dishes. And I'm like, oh, hell no, I'm not ready to move. So yours is renovation. Mine is buying dishes. So
I have Rachel Ray dishes that Albertsons, the grocery store, had.
Albertsons.
And it just drove my husband crazy. But I have 2 red. Because I have 2 red, 2 green, 2 yellow, and 2 orange.
Oh, I would love that.
All the plates, all the bowls, the little plates, everything.
What,
And
he thought you needed to have 8 bread or 8?
yes.
I understand.
And I'm like, nope, 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 not happening.
Yeah, no, my Fiesta ware was a free for all. It was not a. My Fiesta ware was not a. My Fiesta ware was like your Albertsons dishes. You know.
Yep.
Now I don't even. I don't even look at it. I think I have like mine are completely all mismatched, and they're not necessarily. Like I used to collect antique dishes when I lived on the mainland. I used to have all these. I would go to estate sales and buy just different sets of china, and they wouldn't even be all complete.
Mm-hmm.
But now, forget it. Mine's not anywhere near nice at all. I don't care. If we really go to my father-in-law, if we end up moving to Northern Virginia, I will buy myself some dishes when we know for sure. I'll buy myself and have them shipped there before I get there.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, but then I might be moving again. I don't know. I just maybe should just let it go. Like, right? Leave well enough alone. Leave well enough alone. Let me go back and look at chat. Barb says, back in the day when we were married, we all registered for bone china service at 12. The bridal registry you never use that stuff. What's so funny, Barb, is that my mom had all that sort of stuff, and she made us use it every day because she was like, this is expensive dishes. We should eat like a king. We should, I appreciated that about her. I need one more piece to go down here. The only bad thing about just using one single magazine for a page is sometimes you don't have the size of pieces that you want. Well, maybe you do if they're not Nat Geos. But I have this whole did you ever do all those Citrusol pages?
I never have. I have some Citrusol. I had a friend who moved recently to Nebraska, and she had it, so she gave it to me. I haven't done it. I've got some older National Geographics, but yeah, I just haven't done it yet.
Well, I was on a Citrusol page kick years ago. I used to cut them up and put them in big collages for paintings, like make these big paintings and put bits and pieces of them in there. So I have a stack of Nat Geos that have been here for a good long while.
Have you ever sanded pages on a magazine?
I have.
Like over a stencil?
I haven't done it over a stencil, but I've sanded them. I've sanded them over texture, like the popcorn ceiling kind of texture. I've sanded them over that. I haven't done it over stencils. That's a good idea. I've sanded them over like a grate, like a, like in the street, that covers a manhole. What is that?
Yeah, manhole covers.
I've sanded them over that.
I just think that is so cool because you can take what would be normally an ugly piece of paper or magazine, color wise, and you get a whole new texture.
I'll have to try it over a stencil.
Yeah, I like it.
I'll have to try it over a stencil. I've done stuff like that, and I've done newsprint over manhole covers. I've done, like rubbings over like all kinds of things. Like I was in Egypt and I did rubbings all over. Like I took a travel magazine and a crayon and did some rubbings over some old cool things in Egypt. I think that's really the only thing I miss is traveling. I mean, I don't miss the crazy number of tourists that were used to come here, but I definitely miss even the option to go and travel, whether I did it or not. The dream of travel. I miss the dream of travel. That's what I miss.
I've never been a traveler for the most part.
Really?
Nope. I've never, well, I've been to Mexico and several states, but yeah, I'm not a big traveler. I don't have any desire to go overseas.
Malia said she decided she won't buy new dishes because her sink is a big rock. So I can't imagine what happens when you drop a dish. Oh, I had a sink like that in New York City. It was horrible. I had just one of those big, huge sinks, just a single sink. I think the apartment I lived in it was built in the 40s or 50s, and there were those really thick cast iron, deep, deep sinks. Oh, I broke so many dishes in there. Um, Juanita says, open an account for a set of new nice dishes, and when you get to your forever home, buy it. Yeah, I probably will, Juanita. I'm not married to it so much anymore, but there was a time in my life when all that stuff really mattered. Janice says, yes, let it go. Her grandma had lots of pretty old plates and none matched. Didn't she love that? Yep. And Candy says she has, and she's made a mess. Are you talking about the citrusol? Have you tried it and it makes a mess? It does make a mess. It totally does. Anne says she's sanded them over stencils and the outcome is amazing. So there, you and Anne are in. We'll have to try that.
It is. It's really cool.
And Barb says, now I also have my parents' service of 12 and never use the stuff. I love my IKEA dishes. I so get it. And Janet says, Jane, she hasn't tried it, but she's going to try it. I think the stencil thing is a good idea. I have stencils, but I don't have any sandpaper close by. I could do it if I get up and go find some sandpaper. Welcome back.
You want me to flip it through the screen?
Yeah, like the headset.
Yeah.
Like the headset. Jane, I was texting Jane. I said, I gotta find a headset. And she said, I have 3. I was like, yeah. Pretty soon we'll probably have that sort of technology where you could do that, you know?
Yeah. I'll be too old to worry about it then. I'm sure of that.
I don't know. Some days I feel like what was I waiting for? Do you ever feel like that? Like, why didn't I do this before? What was I waiting for?
Yep.
Yeah, so many things. I have been crocheting some while this whole pandemic's been going on. I've been trying to make there's this really cool woman on YouTube. I'll have to put her link in the channel. She makes patterned crochet pieces, which are just gorgeous. I think she lives I don't know. She lives somewhere exotic, but I can't remember. So I watched, she inspired me to try to use up some of the yarn that I have.
That sounds cool.
I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but sometimes don't you like the stash that you have, some of the things you love so much, you're just like, I better use this up because otherwise it's just going to be another thought of a project I never finished or something like that.
Yeah, my thing is sometimes I look at things and it's like, what was I thinking? What am I going to do with this? And so it's gone.
Oh, you mean you just let it go?
Yep. If I don't know what it's going to be, then yeah, there's no sense in holding on to it.
I understand that. I totally understand that. I also know that my aesthetic is not the same as most other people's. So, like, my crafty hoard looks way different than most other people's crafty hoard. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like my crafty hoard of odd things, and I have like a crafty hoard of found objects. I mean, so.
I that's the best thing about working with the Fi is I have really, really, really gotten a lot of my stuff that I know I'm not going to use out of the way.
Well, that's good. Juanita says she can't use up her stash as a spinner. I add I add anywhere from 7 to 20 new skeins to my stash every month. Wow.
I'm
Do you
impressed.
do you sell your wool? I know Vicki Brown. She's a spinner. I think she gave away her spinning wheel. Or I'm not 1,000% sure, but I think so.
Yeah, I have a spinning wheel. I just don't do it nearly enough. And of course, I didn't settle for just a used one, or I had to get the big expensive one.
I understand that, but
I
it's all
feel
good.
somewhat guilty,
Yeah,
but
but
not.
don't you think you could sell it and get
Oh
most of what
yeah,
you're
but I
making it
don't.
out
I
of it?
don't want to part with it yet. I do like it. I do love doing it, but it tends to take um, the back seat.
What to all your other crafting?
Yeah.
I understand that.
So
I
it gets
understand
it's
that.
kind of sad, but and the friend who helped me pick it out, she says, for no more yarn than you use, you shouldn't spin. You should just use your drop spindle. And honestly, I love my drop spindle. So she's somewhat right there too. But I have it, and I just made sure that my daughter knows what it's really worth. So it gets sold for the right price.
Well, maybe, but you don't know. Maybe one of your grandkids will take up spinning.
Yeah.
Part of the reason my sewing machine's in the other room is because my youngest one last year decided she really got the sewing bug, and she was quilting and doing all kinds of stuff. And I was really excited to see her doing her own thing. Like she made all kinds of like little zippered pouches, and she was like on fire, and I was excited for her. But now, like, I don't know. And now she's just kind of like, so are you going to make anything? But I leave it in there because, like, if it's in front of you enough, sometimes you go, okay, I'm just going to sit down and sew something,
Yeah. I hadn't sewed for years, and then we got snowed in a few years ago, and then it's like there was no stopping me. I wanted to sew everything I could find.
I think that's cool. I sewed a bunch of masks, and this whole thing started. I bought some really cool fabrics to sew masks. I generally sew at least 1 or 2 projects a year. Like I don't know, like one year I sewed everyone Christmas stockings made out of Hawaiian fabric. One year I made everybody pajamas, something like that. Lately though, I haven't, and I left what I've been sewing is I've been using up all these really cool fabrics and stuff on my Traveler's Notebook pages, just because I love the fabric, and I'm just like, I'm kind of like thinking, if I don't do it now, I might as well do it and use it for something I'm enjoying now, even if it's not a forever something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've been sewing that. What else did I sew recently? I love to sew paper. I sewed for a while. I was making like packages out of, if I had to mail anything, I was making them out of wax paper. It was sewing wax paper.
Oh, cool.
And some of them I dyed and some of them I painted on. But, then I'm like, next. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trying to clean up my little stash, my crafty mess here going on my desk here. So, I don't know. I haven't had, my regular creative mojo has been sort of in a different way than normal.
I can relate.
And I don't know whether it's just because because I feel like, used to be I would like craft because I was like, oh, this is my time, right? Because I had a job, so I'd be like, okay, if I don't do my creative stuff on this day, it isn't gonna happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm kind of like, because I'm home all the time, which I'm not complaining about being home, I'm just not, I don't feel that same urgency.
Yeah.
as I did before. But I am trying to, hopefully in the next like couple of weeks, I'm going to have some of these my obsession traveler's notebooks in my little Etsy shop with all the funky fabrics, and no two are alike. So if anybody goes in there, I don't have any up there yet. I have to take the pictures. That's the other thing. Oh my god, it's like it's like I have to take the pictures. I have a pile of stuff, and I haven't taken the pictures.
That's the worst part.
For me, it is. Not for other people, it's not, but for me, it is. So these are still all from that same one magazine. It's made me, her little challenge has made me rethink, like, because I cut things out that I'm going to use in something, but wait, I'm missing, let's see what I read. So Juanita says she does custom orders for friends. Spinning is your happy place. Oh, good for you, girl. Juanita said she'll do a StreamYard this week and show us her hand spun. Oh, that sounds awesome.
Awesome.
That sounds so good. Make sure you post it in our crafting. If you haven't joined the Crafting Mamas Facebook group, Malia, will you put the link in there if you can find it? Join that Juanita if you haven't, and then put your link when you put your video up, and then we'll all be able to watch it. Malia says the school just called and they're going to start back September 14th. I know, Malia, it really weighs heavy on all of us what we're going to do. Malia, I understand, girl. I understand. I'm telling you.
I'm glad I don't have to make that decision.
Yeah, I hear you. It probably will be difficult online and in person. Honestly, I don't think they have this whole COVID thing down. I don't think anybody really knows anything. So I would always err on the side of caution. I know that our kids can be a handful because they feel like they're stuck inside, but right, you hate taking pictures too, Malia? Oh gosh. So I probably have a dozen of those little journals made, but I have to take pictures of them, and because they're all different, I have to take all the pictures, and I haven't done that yet. I have all kinds of stuff. I have 2 or 3 big boxes of stuff to let go of, and it's stuff that I don't really want to let go of, but I know I couldn't move with it. Hi, Kathy. So, it's better to go to a better home, or go to a home that's going to use it, and I didn't just want to donate it all to the thrift store here because they may throw it away and then I'll be crushed. Is that ridiculous?
Yeah, I understand that.
Right? It's like your spinning wheel, right, Jean? Like you tell your daughter this is what it's worth so that it doesn't end up being given away for nothing. So that's our Facebook group, Juanita. Go join, and then when you do put your spinning videos up or whatever you're going to do, post a link there, and then people will find you. I'd love to see what you're spinning. Love to see it. Oh, I'm going to be in Meridell Abrams is having a live YouTube hop on September 11th, and I'm going to be in that, which I'm excited about that. It just makes me get back to doing things that I've been not doing. And mine is going to be about, I think it's your favorite technique in an art journal. And mine is going to be image transfer. And then what else am I doing?
Night,
on July 7th. Night, Janet. Big hugs. We love you, girl. You guys go over and subscribe to Janet's channel. She has a lovely voice. Her voice to me is so soothing. She's got a beautiful English accent. And I love watching her crafty videos. You're lurking, Kath. How are you feeling? I hope you're feeling better. Hey, Laura.
Hello,
how are
Laura.
you? And if you guys haven't, I put Jean's channels in the description box. You guys go over and join her channel too, so you can catch up on her tag books. No, so I've been trying to use up the supplies that I really like and creating something, whether I keep it, gift it, or let it go in my Etsy shop. Because for me, it's like, have you ever had like that crafty, like, okay, I'm going to make this. right?
Mm-hmm.
And then once you've done that, then you can move on to the next thing.
Everything I do is that way. Everything.
Well, I think for myself right now, if I don't do it like that, if I don't, then I'm not ever going to get a chance to use those supplies, and I'm certainly not going to move with them. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think that's my technique is if there's something I want to learn and see and try and do and use, then that's what I want to do. And once I've realized that, yeah, I can do that, I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't always even finish them.
I have a bit of that. But I also have so I've been collecting for a long time. One of my other incredibly ridiculous weaknesses are old quilts. All of my grandmother on all my sides of family, both my father's and my mother's side, were quilters. And so I have remnants of really old quilts because they don't all last. Like I have a quilt that my dad's mother made me when I was probably like 9 or 10. And, and she's been long gone. So that quilt's like 50 years old, like 40 some odd years old. And, but they're falling apart, because they were made with fabrics from her stash. And her stash was my grandmother when she passed away. She passed away when I was in my 30s. And she passed away, she was almost 100. So she passed away, she passed away probably 25 years ago. And she was almost 100. So you can imagine how old some of the fabrics were that were in her stash. And my grandfather was a farmer, and she was a farmer's wife, right? He also ran a lumber mill. So a lot of the quilting bits and pieces that I have left are from her, were from old feed sacks, right? Because that's what they did. Old feed sacks, flour sacks. Remember when they used to that's where you got your fabric?
Mm-hmm.
And she hand quilted everything. She had one of those treadle machines, sewing machine.
Uh-huh.
And anyway, so I have bits and pieces of scraps of old quilts and some quilts that are still intact, but from her. And so I've saved some of those bits and pieces and making some journals with them and stuff like that. So it's it's like one of those things where, am I going to really move all that stuff back across the country if I have to move?
Very true. Very true. Hi, Kathy.
Oh, no. Kathy, big love, girl. Sending love, girl. You're already ready. Subscribe to Janet. Janet has such a nice voice, Sharon. So do you, by the way, Miss Sharon. I loved the stream that you did with Jersey when you guys did your jelly printing. That was so amazing. If you guys haven't gone over and watched Sharon's channel, it is Vintage Art Chronicles * Sharon O. And she and Jersey did a fun stream. So fun. On jelly printing. Kathy girl, we're sending you some love. Love, love, love. So tell me what's on your crafty wish list. Like what's left up for me is let's see. I have some. I'm rusting some fabric in the backyard. I've been working on that because I've had it to do for a while. And I rust a little different than what you showed me, Jean. So I'm trying your technique. Mine, I think I made it harder for me than it necessary.
Uh-huh.
So I have some rusty fabric in the backyard that I'm hopefully gonna cut up for the journals that I've been working on. I have the fabric things that I've been working on. I don't know. I think I have like all these sort of ideas in my head of things that I've been wanting to do for a long time, but I haven't, like have an idea book, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to go through, and some of them I'll look at them and I go, I'm not doing that now.
Yeah.
Karen says her 89-year-old grandmother still uses her turtle sewing machine. I know, right?
My great grandma passed away at 103,
Wow.
and she used it up until the end. My aunt has it now. I'm supposed to get it, but I doubt that I will. But you never know. They may remember. I figure since my mom's gone now, people aren't going to remember what I'm supposed to get.
Yeah.
And that's okay. You know what? I really don't need any more stuff.
Me either. Sharon says that she's going to do a $100 Visa gift card once she reaches 1,000 subscribers.
Wow.
And I know, that's great. Malia says that I can mail stuff to my almost Virginia friend there. If I ever get myself back to the mainland, I'm going to definitely, once COVID is done, I'm going to take a road trip and I'm going to come and craft with Jean. I'll come craft with Malia. I'll make my way down to APG in Texas. I'm going to just.
So you should fly out here and then I'll drive with you everywhere.
And we could just craft. I would love that.
Yeah,
right?
and I'll fly home.
It would be fun to just drive around and craft with everybody. That would be so fun. Kathy, we love you, girl. Kathy says, be right back. Trying to teach Pete how to work the Etsy shop. I think he just erased it all. Oh my gosh. Oh no, Kathy. He didn't erase it all. I'm sure he didn't.
I was working on the wish list today and something went wrong and there's no way to back out of it. So I just closed it and went over to the other copy. I'd only fixed one thing, so it wasn't too big a deal, but I decided I wasn't computer literate today.
Hey, girl, I think we all have those some days. We all have that some days. Hi, Patricia. How are you? APG says she's tried to do that a few times, but it's really hard to work out when you're there and if you're available. Oh, I hear you, girl. You tried to go craft with people, you mean, a few times? Well, I thought, I went to Texas. It's been a year or maybe a little longer ago when my aunt got sick and called me and told me to come be with her before she passed. And my mom's sister. And that's so close to you and to Bet and to Susan. But I was after 10 days of that, I was in no shape to visit anyone, I was so tired. I was just in no shape to go and visit.
Yeah, Jamie, you're not that far from me.
She lives in Texas. She lives near where I grew up.
Yeah. That's about 10 hours from here. That's not far. Not when you're talking Texas.
Yeah, Texas is big. And Jamie says when she was in London last October, she tried to meet up, and the only one that could knocked herself out in the garden, and the neighbor found her the next day in the hospital. She went, oh my God, that's horrible. Oh no, knocked herself out in the garden. Oh, please, that's horrible. I got to meet Kate. Kate came to Hawaii.
One of my friends from here just moved to the Woodlands.
You went to the thrift store and you're whipped. I haven't been to the thrift store in so long. I didn't even know. I have gone to drop stuff off, but not to shop. Malia said that Christy is only an hour and a half from you. Oh, that's awesome. You don't know how to get together with anyone with Rona. Girl, I get it. She's done that trip, Jean. She says it's crazy long.
Yeah.
Tell us what you got, Patricia. We want to know what you got from your we want to know what you got from your thrift store.
My drive home to Kansas is about 11 hours. It's a long, darn drive, but it's
Hi,
all good.
Rails. How are you, girl? She got material, clothes, and jewelry. That sounds good. Speaking of clothes, I have to figure out what I'm going to wear my daughter's wedding. You guys, I think I'm just going to wear this one outfit that I wear to everything because I don't really have. If she'd given me like a real notice, I would have been able to like get something, you know. Anyway, I'll share pictures with you if pictures are taken. She's done it all on her own. She didn't ask for anything from us, so I was like, all right, whatever. I told her besides me making her a wedding cake, and they're not even going to have like a reception because of the coronavirus, because we can only have 10 people gather, right? So I think what she's going to do is like her family's going to we're doing the wedding part, and then she's going to get together with her friends at her house, 8 of her friends at her house that won't have gone to the wedding, and then they'll have like food and hang out. So I tried to get her to change it to another time, but that was not what she wanted. Rail says things are good for her. She says that she does okay with a 5 to 6 hour trip, but that's pushing it. Oh girl, I get that. I'm doing fine. I'm taking a break to just hang out and craft and hang out with Jane. And the next auction is on the 12th, yeah?
Uh-huh.
So you guys don't forget to come to the Disabled Artist Foundation auction on the 12th. What is the theme of this auction? Do you know? I don't even know. I'm sure she told
no idea. I just seen it the other day, but it usually changes.
No, I know.
I know that I'm going to have the butterfly stuff that I just shared a little bit earlier today. I know that's going to be there. And I have some tags made by Kathy and some other for her community cares for Defy. And for the life of me right now, I can't remember who else they are. But I have those, and I have a couple of journals that people have made. One that Kathy did with Mickey Mouse.
Oh, I love that.
And I have the Amy papers.
Oh, painting papers are always good.
Yeah.
Painting papers are awesome.
Oh, darn it, Jamie. Don't you hate it when that happens?
I understand, Jamie. Girl, I understand it. I understand it. I understand it.
I have to say that the biggest part of when people would call me through all of this, they'd say, "What you doing?" I'm holding down the couch. My golly, it's going to blow away.
I hear you. My golly, it's going to blow away. So funny. I hear you. I hear you. Today's been I have so many things that I have on my plate to do. Like, yeah. Besides cleaning out my crafting stuff, like I've been cleaning out my garage, and that has been like a whole thing.
Yeah.
How many of you guys have that? Like where you're just cleaning out your garage, you're like Yep, I have that. I've been cleaning out my garage.
Well, hubby
Cleaning out
walked
my.
into the garage the other day and he says, "We bought these 6-foot shelves." He says, "And it was supposed to clean it all up." And he says, "And look at it. Yep, it's all Holden Defy stuff." I have absolutely no more room in the garage, no more room in the spare bedroom. So this is my week. I'm making kits. Just going to get them out because they take, for some reason, you can have the same amount of stuff, but once they're made into kits, they take up less room.
Oh, I get that. I understand that.
So.
I totally get it. So Rails says that she's hoping to get to her jelly print. I hope I get my jelly print too. I want to give away at her channel. If you guys haven't gone over there, it's Crafts from the Dungeon. And she is in Australia. Where are you in Australia, Rails? I know you've mentioned it, but I don't. My head can't hold it right now. APG says she did do a couple little tidy things out there. So that's that. Girl, I cleaned my kitchen this morning. That was about the extent of my. Rel says she's refusing to buy anything this year. She's using up what she has. So far, so good. It's now September, and you've not bought anything. Oh, girl, I lost that one. I lost that battle.
I could do that if I'd stay away from the auctions.
I know, me too.
And the sales and
well, if I wasn't at people's live auctions, I wouldn't buy anything because I don't shop online. I do shop online, but only for things that I can't get here, like some spices and things that I can't get here.
Well, for me, it was a can opener and a curling iron and a toaster. I tell you, our Walmart was picked over.
Your Walmart was picked over?
Mm-hmm.
Sherry, Malia's asking Sherry. Let me go back up in the chat. Let's see. You're staying home. APG says she's with her hubby and they're being high risk. They're both being high risk to stay home except for groceries and every 3 months trip to a craft store. Girl, I get it. Let's see. Malia says she hasn't been to a craft store since her birthday, and that was on New Year's Eve. Girl, we have one craft store here, and it's not even worth going to. I only go if I'm out of glue, okay? Or a semi-hottie. She said they're open in the hobby. Malia says they're open in the Hobby Lobby a few towns over. That could be detrimental, Malia. It would be detrimental for me. And Malia says, tell me about it. She accidentally bought every Christmas thing known to man back in December at 80% off. Ooh, good for you, girl. Sherry says, Care has some of her things, but she's not sure when they're going to hit the auction.
Oh. Yeah.
They were stitched like stitch rolls, like snippet rolls. Is that what it is, Sherry? Malia says they're beautiful. Laura says the auctions are killing her. Me too, girl. Bye, Janet. We love you, girl. APG says, Jane Peter, that tag book is looking so good.
Thank you. I'm really, really liking it, but it's been a while since I've really sat down and made anything. I do my Same 6 Wednesday, though. That's coming up. I'm thinking about just sitting down and doing them all at one time, and then I can put it together because I really want to put it together.
What do you mean, your Same 6 Wednesday or your tag books?
Same 6 Wednesdays.
You're gonna
Barbara Clark and Jamie and Lisa and Tanya and Maria. Maria's miscellany, and we have to use the same 6 things that has been sent to us from each one of us. It's pretty cool.
That is cool.
I loved it.
I did something like that with Bea Grob. she used to send this mystery envelope, which I have to tell you, I loved. She sent this mystery envelope, and you never knew what you were going to get. We didn't send her stuff. And she sent stuff. We were all over the world, the people, and I don't even know how I got involved in it, but it was such a fun thing. But what's so funny is mine never turned out anything like anybody else's.
I think that the 6 of us that are doing this are all pretty unique, but yet there's some similarities. So I think it's pretty cool. I'm loving it. I've never done anything like that before, so I guess I'm putting it out there. If anything goes on like that again, I'd sure like to play.
Yeah, I thought about that when Bea used to send out her packs. Her stuff was so unique. I used to think, like, what in the world could I send? Do you know, like, I mean, I have so much stuff. I'm sure stuff I could send, but you know what I mean? Like, you kind of look at what other people send you and you're like, oh, what could I send?
Well, I got on that same 6 Wednesday, I got lucky. They used my stuff first. So I was kind of like, whew, it's done and over with. My part. I mean, what I sent.
Right.
Yeah, I'm really liking this tag book. This tag I didn't make. When I was sorting through stuff, I found it. And I thought, well, there we go. That's one less tag I have to do.
Well, no, you were asking for tags. I should show you the die cuts, the dies that I have, and if there's any that would work for your tag book, certainly, because you were going to get kits of them, right? But how many of them do you need for a kit?
Well, I have in here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, plus an envelope, 5, 6. And I think I want it to be quite a bit thicker. These are some of the other things I've picked out. So, I'm thinking 10 to 15 for the pages. And then if people want to stick them inside of things, there's those too. So
I see what you mean. But how many kits? Is this like your 70 kit thing?
No, I'm not really sure what it'll be for by November, because that's when I send out again. Unless, I do send out other times besides my designated month, because if we need it, I send it, if I've got it, because, there's no sense in ordering stuff that I have. Anyway.
No, the only reason I'm asking is because like 70 kits for 10 tags, that's 700 tags, sister. That is a lot of tags.
Yeah, no, we don't send to 700 or 70 anymore. And there's a handful that are on hold.
Oh, okay.
COVID, and there is a handful that are adopted on a regular basis. So we don't count those when we make the kits. And anymore, I don't make enough kits for everybody on most of them. When I did the ATC card making kits, everyone got one of those. Because, we want some ATCs too,
Right.
And so some of them, if it's a little thing and I got everything, then it might be enough kits for one for everybody. And then there's sometimes that I only make 10 of one kit, or I might make 20. It depends upon what I have.
I understand.
If there's 10 or more, it becomes a kit always.
No, that was the reason why I didn't like pipe up and go, I'll do it, because I was like, I don't know that I can make 700 tags. Like,
oh no, and I don't even care that they're all this. I mean,
but if you're going to send somebody a project, you kind of want them all to be the same, don't you?
Huh?
If you're going to send out a project that comes with a video, you kind of want it all to be the same, don't you?
Not necessarily. Evidently, you have not watched all my videos, lady.
No, but I'm just saying the tag thing. The tag, I mean, I realize, because I've gotten some of the kits, so I realize, like, but I'm just saying, like, if it's one that you're going, like, I'm going to make sure that we do an instructional video for this one for every person that wants to participate.
I actually make a video for every kit, usually an instructional. This time I had 3 or 4 kits that there was only like 10 of. And rather than use the materials, I did a kit walkthrough and
Oh, that's
showed
good.
what was in the kit, what my plans were, what my thoughts were. But nobody does them exactly like I say or whatever. So it's okay. I don't want them to do it. I want them to be, use their own brain and come up with these fun things that they want to make out of it.
No, I get it.
So on the tag kits, they will all get the same count of tags. They may not, they may not even get anything that I have in here. This is just a prototype of what it can look like. But they will get the tags. I've already started making bags of yarn and lace and trims for them to put, frou-frous on the ends. And those are definitely not all the same. It's just I'm taking several skeins of yarn and cutting 12 inches and cutting 12 inches,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then they'll get an assortment of papers, some book pages, and probably a few images, because I give them enough on most every kit from start to finish.
Well, that's good.
But occasionally I don't, because I want them to use some of their own things and come up with ideas and change things a little bit. And most of them do.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, see, for me, giving me a kit, I will do my own thing. Do you know what I mean? I might not even watch the video of what was sent because I may go, oh, well, I'm going to do it for me. But that's just how I work.
Yeah,
But
I
I don't
totally
know how
understand that.
I don't know how other people do it. But I mean,
And
for
I
me,
actually, on this, I did go in and I watched their videos and seen how they did it. And Tanya just did a separate video on how she did the hinges, just the hinges, not doing all of the other. And I was
do you know who
like,
else did the tag book? I did a version of the tag book, not the same way you're doing it like 4 years ago on YouTube. And I don't know, it's in a live stream. I don't know what I called it. I might have called it an altered book tag book or something. But you know who else did a book similar to one you're doing is Shannon Green.
she may be on the list.
She did it years ago, though. Like, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago, I saw it.
Yeah. Lisa and Tanya linked several videos in their video of where they got the inspiration from. So it's not a new idea. It's not my idea, but I just thought this would be a fun idea for the Hardest. And maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think it's a great idea. And I also think Tim Holtz sells a tag kit book, a tag book kit. I know he does because I was watching somebody the other day was auctioning off something and it was like one of his tag books, like whatever Tim Holtz does. Seeing as you guys, I don't get to a craft store, so I couldn't possibly see what everybody, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they don't have that sort of thing in my craft store.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a great idea.
That sale you're talking about, but I don't recall what it was.
Right. But also too, there was one, where did I see it? Somebody does a tag mini album. Who was that? Oh my gosh, who was it? I can't remember. It could be from years ago too. Do you know what I mean? Like, like I've watched so many YouTube videos over my lifetime, or seen it, or maybe I saw it in a group. I could have seen it in like one of those Facebook groups where they, like sometimes people will post videos that inspire them or whatever, and I could have seen it in that. Mm-hmm. Never even seen it on YouTube, but I remember somebody making a mini album from tags, which I thought was a good idea too.
So I got these Heidi Swap glitter reinforcements. Not much on glitter, but there's some that aren't glittery. At Dollar Tree.
Really? At Dollar Tree has Heidi Swap?
Yep.
That's crazy. Patricia said it was Johnny that sold the Tim. Was it a tag? Was it a tag book that she sold, Patricia?
I think she had the portfolio and something else. The ruler kit.
She had a ruler kit. Okay.
Maybe. I don't remember. I need lots of suggestions for kits. I'm not running out, but I'm wanting different. And
I can relate to that. I can relate to the wanting different. I think that's my problem. I get tired. I get bored easy. I probably have ADD. You know what I mean?
Yep. Hi, Kat.
Hi, Kat. How are you? I get ADD. I think I have ADD. You know who I sure have been missing is Carla Caged Fish. I love her. And I have really been missing her videos. Have you guys been missing her?
I have not seen very many of hers. I'm subscribed. But
She's fabulous.
I actually went in and changed a lot of my settings on my YouTube, so I'm getting more notifications.
I don't even get notifications for people that I watch all the time, which is like, that makes me know that they've changed their algorithm. Because, usually you get notifications for people that you watch. Bye, Rails. We love you, girl. Hang in there. I'll be on one of your streams. I'll see you soon. Guys, yeah, it's 9 a.m. where Rayleigh is. Patricia said she thought it was a tag book.
It could have been.
She's got to post off some Etsy orders, pick up a new office chair, and you can't wait to get your new chair. And hopefully it'll help her back. Girl, I hear you. I bought Jean's fabric from the auction, whenever it was, for last couple of Cares auctions ago. And my idea is to make it my office chair, like cover chairs. But then, not knowing if I'm moving, I'm gonna keep it in my stash to take with me if I end up on the other side of the world.
It's gonna rot by then.
It will not. You know what? If we move, it will be probably, I'm guessing, because of the things that are going on with his dad, it'll probably be a whole lot sooner than we even anticipate. Because his dad was a big animal veterinarian, and he's so smart, sweet man. But he did not prepare for the only way that the only insurance he had was for long-term home health aid care, but it does not pay. So we couldn't even put him in a facility, and I don't think he would go because it's just his short-term memory that's gone right now. But yeah. He's so, how do I put it? Like he runs 3 miles a day with his dog, his hunting dog. He's very, very active. I don't think that he could be in a sedentary place. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So he needs somebody to take him to play golf and to make sure he eats and showers and that sort of thing. I mean, he still takes care of himself, but just like saying, "What'd you eat today, Dad?" And because he's so busy and running around, that's how he is. So I don't know. I think that we may end up being there sooner than we want to be. Not that we don't want to be there. I mean, if we didn't have COVID, my partner would have already gone there. But the problem is this: if he goes, he has to quarantine for 14 days, and then he helps his dad, and then he has to come back and quarantine for 14 days. Mm-hmm. So we don't really have 28 days to quarantine. Does that make sense?
Yep. Gary went to visit his parents. Oh, I think in July. I don't even remember. And through the whole trip, I didn't even know this till he got home because he used my car. I decided I just didn't want to. I don't want to wear the mask in and out and in the heat. So I chose not to go.
I understand.
It's not that I don't want to wear a mask. That has nothing to do with it. But my face just gets so red and raw, and then it starts to itch, and then I pick on it, and one thing leads to another, And it's not the mask per se that's causing it. I just have a skin condition. And anyway, he had a piece of paper laying on the dash of the car. Look at how dirty my hands are today.
We were having fun.
That said he was a essential worker. So
Right.
anybody that bothered him about it, you know, because they wanted him to quarantine too. So
Yeah, but the thing is here is where I live has such low counts of anything that
yeah,
it would be devastating to be the cause of that. Does
yes,
that make sense? The other thing is his parents are not young. So if he goes and gives them anything, like if anything, that
yeah.
would be worse. You know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean? And so the two of us, and because there's so many people out there that are asymptomatic carriers where they don't have any symptoms and they never develop any symptoms. We had this long discussion. Are you kidding? I said to him, it would be better if his dad came here because of the lack of, if we were going to take care of him long term, I think it would be better if he came here. But that being said, his dad is girlfriend, dad didn't want to leave. It's a whole thing, you know, and it's also that point where you have to give up your independence. Do you know? And I don't think he's lucid enough to know that that's what he would be doing.
yeah.
I mean, is that, yeah, you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So for us, it's a twofold thing. It's not that we don't want to help him or take care of him or whatever. It is that we want to do what's best for him, but also at the same time, what's best for us. Because, you know, as caregivers, it's not an easy road as a caregiver.
No, it's not. And I haven't done it full time. But when my mom had brain surgery in 2017, I went there quite a while before and went through all of her appointments and setting it up, and then the surgery and getting her into the hospital back at home for the rehab and staying with her. And dad would go in the mornings and I'd come in around noon and he would go back home, and we just went back and forth like that the whole time, and it was exhausting. Totally
Yeah,
exhausting.
well, both my sister and I were caregivers for our parents, and we were really lucky. I mean, it's going to sound terrible, but we were lucky that our parents were healthy as long as they were.
That's good. Well, my dad.
Patricia, we may move to where his dad is. The crux is this: his dad lives in Northern Virginia, and it's cold. And I haven't lived in the cold weather in about a dozen years. It's that, but it's a bigger move than just us moving. It's taking our youngest daughter out of school. It's moving our home, so we can't take anything with us. So it's basically letting go of everything. We could ship our cars, and that's it. Maybe take a couple suitcases. It's not cost effective to move anything. So it's a bigger move for us than it would be for him. For him, he's one person. He doesn't need to bring anything. Warm clothes. That's it. I mean, a couple pairs of shorts. And we just sent him a bunch of clothes the other day. We sent him a bunch of shorts the other day because his girlfriend said he was wearing some ratty, and he's never worn ratty clothes, but whatever. So I mailed him some clothes. It's us starting completely over, and bigger than that, it's like finding jobs. It's not like we're going to be paid to take care of him. It's like finding jobs, starting completely over. It's a big move. It's a really big move. And it's not as simple as just buy a coat. When you haven't lived in cold weather in a dozen years, it takes a lot to get used to. I mean, no, it does.
I know.
It really does. It's more than just buy a coat. It's like, but the bigger thing is this, is that, you know, the quality, if he's really losing everything, like losing his sense of all of it might be better for him to be here, because then he's not, it's warmer, he can play golf every day, you know. He can do all of his activities. The things that have happened to him that have been detrimental to him have happened during the wintertime. He's such an active person, like, and he can't sit still. You know, he like, the house that he lives in is not, I mean, it's a big, huge house for one person, but it's on like a hill, and the shoveling thing, he fell and he hit his head really, really horribly, 2 or 3 times within a very short period of time, because he was trying to use an ice pick, like a big pickaxe, is that what it's called? A big pickaxe to pickaxe his driveway, which is like on a steep incline. It's a lot. Barbara says, "Is there a possibility of hiring caregivers from Hawaii where you're employed?" I don't know. Maybe. I mean, we're not looking to hire caregivers. We would be the caregivers, but we would also have to work. I mean, we're not independently wealthy enough to just retire at our age. We have kids in college and all those sorts of expenses. So, I mean, for us, the reason we would do it is because obviously we love him so much and we don't want him to not have the best possible care he can have. The second thing, the second reason would be because, you know, he would not flourish in a hospital setting. He's not that kind of person. Like, do you know, like, there's some people that are fine in that type of setting. He's not one of them, you know? And so that would be another reason why we would go, so that he had the best possible quality care. Right now he's living, he has his house, he's independent, has a house, but he stays most of the time at his girlfriend's house. Now, mind you, she's in her 80s as well, okay? But she does not want to caregive him. And I understand that. There is nothing wrong with knowing your boundaries. Like, you know, she's like, I think it's hard when your partner has dementia and it's one thing if you've been married to somebody for 40 years and they get dementia. It's different when you've only been with them, you know, a few years. You know? So, and my hottie has a brother and a sister too. And so, like, I said to him, before we uproot our whole lives to go there, because they live close to his dad, I said, we have to make it perfectly clear that we may be coming. The thing that he does right now that's a little concerning is like he'll fall asleep and he'll wake up and not remember where he is. It takes him a while to get oriented. And so he'd been staying at his girlfriend's house for a while, and then she was going out of town. So he went and stayed at his house. And he called us in the middle of the night to ask us how to turn on the light in his room. He called us to ask us if his lights if somebody had paid his light bill, because he couldn't find, because the lights wouldn't come on. Well, you know what it was? He had one of those dimmer switches, you know, and when you turn a dimmer switch down, you know what I'm talking about? Like, you can turn a dimmer switch completely down, and when you go to turn it on, nothing happens. So he thought his lights were out. I mean, we laughed about it, but, you know, it's starting to get like that, you know? It's just a precarious position. I would like it if he came to live here personally, because I think, you know, my island's tiny. He can't get lost. There's not really many places for him to go and do. I'll drag him to play golf. I'm a terrible golf player, but I'll drag him every day if he wants to go. You know, I don't know. It's like, the real question is this. So the girlfriend doesn't want to take care of him because she doesn't want that responsibility, because she didn't sign on for it. And I understand that. I mean, that may sound harsh, but I get it. You know, he's not a completely easy person, but he's not crazy difficult, but it can get on your nerves. Does that make Does that make sense? Hi, Maria. How are you? So I don't know. It's just like one of those things. So
Hi, Maria.
there's no easy answer. I just there's no easy answer. I tried to talk him into coming here when he was a little bit more. I said, "Why don't you just move here, Dad? Just move here with us." But we'll see. Just like you said, your son-in-law had a hard time finding a job. We'd be moving in that same area.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Very true.
So, I mean, it's bigger than just going to take care of him. It's not like we're going to be paid to take care of him. And if he had the kind of money to pay somebody to take care, he's perfectly fine financially. But I think my sister-in-law, we kind of did some, like, whatever you want to call it, research. And it's about $17,000 a month to find somebody to caregive. That is a lot of money. $17,000 a month.
Yes, that is.
Right?
Yep.
So.
And I understand him not wanting to leave. I really do. It probably at least once a month or so, I tell my dad how I would love to see him move in town. I mean, he lives in a 5-bedroom house, two stories. It's just him. Bless his heart, he's not a very good housekeeper. And he drives in town every day to go eat at the senior center, which I am thrilled that he started doing that since Mom passed. And I would love for him to be in town. I think he'd have company more often. I think he'd be able to do more things and actually probably have more money. But
he won't do it?
No, he doesn't want to move. And he's lived there he moved there 3 years before I graduated high school. So we're pushing 45 years.
Wow.
So.
I understand it. I mean, look, I'm not telling him what to do.
Yeah.
But it's going to come a time when his girlfriend won't let him stay with her anymore. And that's what we're trying to figure out before that happens. Because, like right now, my hottie sister goes and like when they have a fight or a spat, I think part of it is that she doesn't, understanding somebody is losing their mind, their mental capacity is so hard to cope with. But it's even equally harder when it's your companion and you didn't ever experience them like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I understand, and I understand also, like, she didn't get into it to be trapped with somebody that's having those issues. I do not fault her at all.
Yeah.
In the best of circumstances, he's not easy. He's not easy to be around. He's not how do I put it? You know how there's some people that are just so set in their ways that they're not flexible? It's like that.
Yep.
It's not a bad thing. He's just set in his ways.
Mm-hmm.
And so I understand that she didn't get into it, that she didn't sign on for that. Like, I totally get it. I absolutely get that she didn't sign up for it. But at the same time, it's like I said, we need to really talk this out because we can move our whole lives there. And what if we don't find a job? Especially with this COVID going on. So it's a bigger move than just like,
Yeah.
I think it'd be best if he came here, but Barbara, it's not up to me. It's like the other thing is that, my partner's my second time around. I took care of my parents, and I would never ever stand in the way of him doing that, for providing that for his dad. I would never tell him not to. But he also has two siblings, and my sister and I were on the same page when it came to our parents. Like we were both like, okay, dad needs to do this or move with you, or you know what I mean. We were both, and then we did our own arrangements behind the scenes with ourselves, never ever involving him. We just worked out all the logistics for ourselves. Does that make sense? Like she was like, okay, dad's going to come stay with me for this much time, and then we're going to come visit you, and then can you keep dad for like this many months, and then you know what I mean. And he didn't know any different. Like he was our dad. Our dad was very with it. He didn't. His mind. It wasn't his mind that was gone. It was his physical body. He had a congenital heart defect. Anyway, it wasn't that. But my point is my sister and I worked it out on our own, and neither one of us, like when it became too much, one of us would call the other and go, "You need to come," you know.
Yeah.
And but he's got to work that out with his brother and sister. Do you see what I mean?
Yep.
Because I said to him, I said, it's not fair. I said, it's not fair that, okay, if we go there and then all of it falls on us. I said, we have to have a schedule. Your brother and sister have to, we have our own lives. Your brother and sister have to pick weekends that they're willing to take your dad. I said, otherwise it's not, we don't have a life. You know, otherwise, you know, and I said, and if we're doing this for the betterment of him, they need to be in on it. It can't just be me and you. We can't be the, you know, the dumping ground. And so, I mean, they have their own logistics to work out. I think if COVID hadn't happened, my partner would have already been there and dealt with some of the logistics of his dad, really scoped out other things, really gotten a better handle on, you know, what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like one of those, it's not an easy thing. It's definitely not easy. It's not easy at all. At all. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next year, don't you think? For the whole world, not just our country, but for the whole world.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It's going to be interesting to see like what jobs stay and what jobs go.
Yeah.
And you're right, Barbara. Barbara says caregiving is the challenge of our adulthood. It really is. It really is. But it also, you know what else though, Barbara? It makes you really appreciate where you are, and also puts you in the mindset of like when you're going through it, of setting yourself up for something better for your children, right? Or for whoever may be the person that ends up having to deal with you, right?
That's why I'm so excited my daughter's moving back.
Oh my gosh, you're so funny. You're lucky. I remember how excited you were when you helped her set up her classroom. That was fun.
Oh yeah.
All those pictures. Is she going to go back to teaching, you think?
I don't think so. Everything you guys you were talking about, our school system over there, it's really hard to get even a parent involved, and yeah, it's not a good school system. That's the worst part of them coming over. I think they're coming back is for Riley going to school, but I think it'll all work out. I hope. I mean, of course, it has to. You know, it just does. It'll work out the best it can.
No, I mean, yeah. I don't know that there's if there's any one answer for anything.
Yeah, I don't either.
And I'm not one of those people to blame teachers at all. I'm just saying, like, let's be a little bit bigger, broader minded than we are focusing on the short term of things.
I agree.
And be kind. I mean, kindness goes so long. Kind, compassion, empathy. You know.
I went and visited her one time in school. when she was teaching, and there ain't no way. There is absolutely no way I could do it. I'm too old. I'd had to hurt somebody.
I hear you. So Dana's saying, let's see. Dana says her dad lives with her sister, but she's never home, so she wanted him to move with my other sister. It's hard, Dana. It's hard. I get it. My sister and I, we did the best we could for our parents. And I don't regret 1 minute of it. Was it easy? No, but it was definitely worth it. Barb says it's really hard to plan for these things. My wife and I are in our mid 70s, and we realize that there's almost no reason to plan. We just need to be prepared. I completely agree. I completely agree, Barb. I think for us, it's we want what's best for him, but we also have to be able to make a living. So it's not like we have like a big choice about how it's going to pan out for us. Dana says, when you fly to the Big Island, how much do they charge you for that, Shelley? Dana, it depends. There used to be little pedal jumper airlines, but they're pretty much all gone now. And those little pedal jumpers, you could probably fly from anywhere from $60 to $100 one way. I haven't flown Inter Island in a while. And right before all COVID started opening up, Southwest Airlines had come here, which are notoriously inexpensive for Inter Island or notoriously inexpensive for flights. So the prices of flights were really going down. But you know what? Saying that, I don't even know. Now they've pretty much stopped all flights Inter Island. There's just a handful. So it could be a couple $100 each way for all I know now. I haven't flown in a while.
Well, I priced going to Virginia, maybe a couple months ago before I knew they were coming back. And I could do it round trip for under $200.
Well, that's good. I mean, it used to be really, you could, for a while when I first moved here, it was pretty expensive. I would say it was about $150 each way, which I think is expensive when it's a 20-minute flight. But then all these little tiny pedal jumpers and private little things, and you could fly for, I don't know, $50 each way. Now I have no idea. So Barb says, like the Robert Munch book, Love You Forever. I haven't read that book. I'll have to read it. Dana says, we share responsibility. We all took care of mom. Now we're on to your dad. Well, they're very lucky to have you. Barb Clark says, and for us, it's not the money that will prepare us because that ship has sailed. There is no money. So this is the dilemma for his dad. Okay, so his dad was incredibly well off. During the middle of this, us figuring out that he had dementia, he was very active, always had he's also been married like 3 or 4 times, so I think he had lots of alimony payments, things. So anyway, that's a whole other story. Somebody took advantage of him, and that's how we all started realizing that something was off. I don't know to the extent of how much money he was scammed out of, but I want to say it's probably in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay. And that's when, and I don't even remember how it all panned out that we found out, because nobody really, he's been independent his whole life. Nobody's like watching over him. Right. But anyway, so after that happened, we all realized that if one of us didn't step in, if somebody didn't step in to help him out, that he basically would be left destitute, and there wouldn't be anything we could do about it. So we had to go through this whole thing and get him a guardian ad litem. We had to go to court. We had to get power of attorney. Like, so one of his siblings has financial and medical power of attorney. You know what I mean? That sort of thing, so that we could change his bank account so he could quit being scammed. And then in the interim, he was forgetting to pay his bills. That's how and he was never been like that. Ever. And he owned rental property and just all kinds of stuff that was going on that wasn't normal for him. So we're lucky that we found out when we did, because he did lose money, but he didn't end up losing his properties. And we were able to pay off some of his property so that he has, not only does he have his small pension retirement or whatever he has in his own Social Security, whatever, but he has these rental properties that all the money goes into an account that will take care of him. But it will not take care of him $17,000 a month worth. Okay. And so right now, that's why, I mean, and he let one of his insurances lapse, the one that would have provided him, I don't know. So the one that we did keep was the long-term health insurance. We kept that one, right? Or we're able to reestablish that one or not make it catch up on his payments from him not. He thought he paid things. He's just not. That's what I'm saying. Some things he's perfectly good at, other things he's just not. So now he just doesn't have $17,000 a month to have in-home care. I don't know what it costs to be put somewhere, but he wouldn't be put. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have that demeanor, you know. He would escape. There would be no point to it, you know. He would escape. So it's just one of those things. It's just been trying to deal with it.
My dad actually forgot to pay 2 bills this month too, so we're kind of watching things.
Well, not only did he forget to pay bills, he was giving money away to like some scammers. I can't even tell you. Yeah, we all stood up and took notice, and I don't even know how we found out. I think what happened was he called my partner's sister and said, "Where did you put my checkbook?" And she hadn't done anything with his checkbooks, you know, it's wherever in his desk. And she said, "Dad, all your bills are right there where they always are, you know." And she went over there and she saw like the piles of bills. So he hadn't paid any of them. So Barb Chicken Pot Pie Society said, "You'll cry. It's actually a children's book, but it's full of the circle of life." I'll have to get it. I'll definitely do it. Oh, Barb, you know, I'm sending you lots of love. You know, I think we're all stuck in that space. Barb Clark says nothing will take care of us. 17,000 a month worth. Wow, we can't even do 35 a month. That things cost here. Girl, I can relate. I can absolutely relate. No, my dad couldn't have gone into a care situation that was that costly at all. So that's the reason that we're contemplating it, because if he needs that level, like the kind of level of care he needs right now is he needs to live in a home that he has all the meals are done. He doesn't have to think about it, where his laundry is done, you know, and where somebody's there at nighttime with him. So when he does get disoriented, he doesn't go off and do something. Like when he was still driving, his car broke down, thank God. And that's why he's not driving, not because he doesn't want to drive. But, and his sister refuses to fix it. I don't know what she told him, but anyway, it's for the better. It's for the better. Cause I mean, he would drive off and anyway, you know, and nobody would know where he'd go. And he was born and raised in that area, and he's a mountain guy. So like he hunts so who the heck knew where he was going? You know what I mean? We had to take all of his hunting guns away from him. He hunts with a bow and arrow too. We had to take that away. I mean, he's not going to shoot anybody. It's just you don't want him to go off thinking he's hunting, and then he goes off in the mountains and nobody knows where he is. It's been ridiculous.
I got to tell you, speaking of hunting, my granddaughter is doing a raffle for her cheerleading camp. Mm-hmm. And they're combining, or not camp, but just cheerleading, and they're combining it with the football for the elementaries. She's 6.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, well, okay, I would have spent $20 on the fundraiser. Let's do that. So I bought the raffle ticket, and then I got a picture of what it looked like. And I was like, you know what? This is one of them I'm probably going to win. The first prize is a whitetail hunting trip. The second
What?
prize is a gun. The third prize is a gun. The fourth is a Botox spa day. And the fifth one is actually the one I'd want, but I'm sure I won't win it. It is a trip for 4 to Dallas, but it has an Astros game or some kind of, I don't know, whatever team's there. I don't know. And then they have a bonus prize, which is it's a 12 gauge shotgun. I'm like, really? What am I going to do with a gun? I don't own a gun. You know.
That's Texas. That is
Yep,
Texas,
that's
Texas,
very
Texas.
true. Hi, Johnny.
Hi, Johnny. Johnny, I love your new journals. They are so beautiful. If you guys haven't gone over to her channel, it's Junk Journal Shop. Head over there. And then in the link of her description, she has her Etsy shop. And check out her journals. You guys, they are gorgeous. The blue genie one is my favorite. I mean, I just think they're just beautiful. And your sale was so fun the other day. I'm sorry I was homeschooling, or I would have been there all day more. I'd have been there. Yes, you'll love it. Barb, go over and check her stuff out. It's so cool. Okay, so this is me doing that ladies challenge. Oh my gosh, you guys. Linda Mixed Up Mess. I think that's her name. Let's make sure I got it right. Linda Mixed Up Mess. Her challenge is this. And you're chilling at your easy chair day. That's Linda's Mixed Up Mess. So her challenge was to use a magazine, single magazine for a page. So I've used the same magazine. I've reharvested over and over again. It's the same Nat Geo. So here's the pages I've made from that magazine, which I have to say, it's a good exercise because I wouldn't normally do that.
All of your pages today have been in the same magazine?
Yes. So this is the initial one that I made in the video when I did the challenge, the thing that they tagged me, that Jersey tagged me in. And it came from the same magazine. I don't know if I'm even in frame. Let me see. Yeah, it's all been the same magazine. I mean, it's actually it's a good exercise for me because usually I go through and I clip stuff and then, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to just put it on me for 1 second and then I'll come back to you. Jean's making a tag book, which is really nice. Okay, let's see. So this was the one that I did when I was talking about the glue book challenge. This is the one that that I did when Jersey was chatting. Dana, he does have a cell phone, but he loses it all the time. But yeah, you're right. We should do that to do his tracking a little better, right? So yeah. So this was the page that I did using in the challenge where you talk about the questions. And then in this magazine journal I made out of a Wired magazine, I can't tell you to make one out of that. I did this page today from the same magazine. It's a little bit more challenging. Hi, Annette. How did I make my book? It's just a magazine journal, just some magazine pages. Generally, I would fold them over, but these I cut because they were so thin. Hi, Lynn. Because they were so thin. It's ridiculous how thin Wired magazine pages are. And I like thin magazine pages, but these were sort of, I don't know. My hottie actually, it's just a magazine. I'll show you in a second. So I made this page today, and I actually like this page. The orange thing, I don't know. I have a thing for orange. That's so funny, Jean, because I think you and I both have the thing for orange.
I know.
Right? I don't know why, but I loved it. So this was like, I don't know if you can see it. It's a whole bunch of different images. And then I made this page with the baby swimming that Barb likes. I loved the hands with the water. I would have liked to have used that in a different journal, but I'm sure I'll come back to it again. I'm sure it'll come back to me. That's my only complaint about fashion magazines. Maybe you guys can pipe in on that one. The images are all the same. Do you guys ever find that? Like you go through and you're like, these are the same ads in every single one, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I did that page, and let's see, I know I did another page, and then this page. All from the same magazine, and this page, all from the same magazine. So they're all the same. So actually, this whole glue book has been from, how many pages have I done total? Let's see, I've done one spread, one 2-page spread, two 2-page spread, 3 2-page spread, 4 2-page spread, 6 2-page spreads from the same magazine. That's crazy.
Cool.
So I made this from, I have a better one somewhere around here. This is just, so you can see this is all it is. And that it's just one magazine. And this one I covered with some old Reader's Digest book pages, which I find that's the only thing to use them for because they're too brittle sometimes to do. And I'll collage on top of this. I just folded them down. And this book, I wouldn't necessarily say I normally do it like this, but the pages were so thin that I glued 3 pages together and then I just cut it off. Whereas my other one, guys, I have so many magazine journals. How many of these magazine journals have you done, Jean?
I think I have 3.
Yeah, I think I have like 3 or 4. So we're this one, which is also one that I started, but this one's from an Oprah magazine. This one's an Oprah magazine. And for this one, let me see if there's any pages in here that aren't done. These are just, all I did was fold them over and glue them together. So these are not, do you see, I don't know if you can see it. So it's just like one page that I just folded over and glued it to, and I put tape in mine because I start using paint and wet medium on it. It'll come up because magazine pages do. So this has some jelly prints that I've put as backgrounds on top of the magazine pages before I'm going to collage some old book pages. Dana says she found 5 Reader's Digest books with and the covers are awesome. They're patterned. Yeah, I love that. But the pages are usually not very good, at least in my experience. Maybe you guys have a different experience with your Reader's Digest. So this one, I was going to do backgrounds on, and then I was hoping to do, I cut out some images, which I put them, I don't know where I put them. They were on my desk, but I cleaned my desk off. Did you guys see Jane's doodle hair video? Jane has a doodle hair video. Let me see if I can find it. If I can find it, I'll put it in the description box. She has a doodle hair video where she takes the picture of a woman or whoever, and then she doodles it, that she makes their hair like a Zentangle hair. I mean, it's not really a Zentangle, but what would you call it, Jane?
Doodle tangle.
Doodle tangle hair. Okay. I'm going to see if I can find the video and I'll link it. It's so good, though. So the reason I like making these like books like this is because this is like a no-brainer, and if you mess it up, so what? And it was nothing. And sometimes the magazines I make them out of are ones that I've already harvested a ton of pages out of. So, you know, like you can take them to the recycling, or you can take them somewhere where somebody might do it, but then
I'm not sure where it's at, Shelley. I think I've looked for it too, and I don't know that I can find it.
I'm looking right now. I can't remember what you called it.
I don't either.
Ridiculous, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I can't find it, put it in the chat. I'll find it afterwards and put it in the description box. How ridiculous. Like, why can't I find it? Oh my gosh. Why can't I not find it? It's so crazy. Well, I'll have to look for it. I thought for sure I'd see a picture of your hand drawing some hair, but I don't. Anyway, I'll have to find it and put it in there. Did you do it on your channel, or did you do it on Daffy channel?
I think I did it live in Facebook and then switched it over.
Okay, well, I'll find it and put it in there. Anyway, that's what this journal, the one that I'm doing right here, that's what this one is, was meant to be. And this was one of those reverse collage transfers. Oh my gosh, it didn't come out as good as it possibly could have because your surface underneath has to be flat, but I like the way it came out. And then I think I don't know, maybe I painted on it and then did the reverse collage. I don't remember. So what do you guys say? I'm missing it. Yours are in great condition. Oh, that's so good.
Hi, Lynn.
I love your jelly prints. Dana makes the most beautiful jelly prints. She sent me some. Okay, so you guys, this is going to sound so terrible. So when we're talking about moving to take care of my father-in-law, I said to my sister-in-law, I said, if I mail some of my art supplies to you, will you put them in a safe place? And she's like, of course I will. And then, so I started like putting together like things that I absolutely have to take with me. You guys, I have got like a box of painty papers. I've got painty papers I have had from Jean. I got painty papers I got from Dana, from Carla. I think I have some painty papers from Lynn. It's like, it's so funny. Is that ridiculous? Hi, Taz. How are you? Long time no see. Anyway, so it's like, I said to my hottie, I said, I can't imagine if your sister opens up the box and looks in there and she just sees like, you know what I mean? She just sees all my painting papers. Ridiculous. The other thing that I love doing, and Jean, have you done some collage board books?
I actually have one in progress.
Oh, I do too. Let me see if I can find it if I don't have it here.
I'm not sure.
Mine's in the other room, I think.
I think mine's in the other room too.
Yeah. Hey, Bootsy. I'm so happy to see you. Have you guys seen Roy's video on being prepared for an emergency?
Hi, Roy.
Dana, you're right. Just send them in a flat rate box. And they don't, and it doesn't matter because how happy they are. No, you're right. But it was so funny. Like, so, you know, because my hottie's a painter too. So he's got all his stuff. And he and I were talking about it. And I said, what are you going to take? And he's got some special brushes. And I mean, his stuff is expensive. Okay. I have painty papers in mine. Right? And it's not. I have painty papers. He has brushes. He's got like 1 year for his birthday. He wanted this brush. You guys, I'm not that kind of a painter, but the brush was like a couple $100. That's all he asked for, so that's what I got him. Right, mine's going to be painty papers, but we're not going anytime soon. So not until we get a handle on not until my partner can at least go over and assess the whole situation and, you know, and then we start sort of assessing finding a job. What did your son-in-law do? Hi, Lizzie. Oh, Lizzie, I love Lizzie. I love you. What did your son-in-law do that the job market wasn't so open for with him there?
He worked with the metal reclaiming thing.
Metal reclaiming?
Yeah, the salvage kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Hi, Lizzie. I was going through some stuff the other day, and I've got some jokers to send you.
I'm saving you some jokers too, Lizzie. I haven't mailed them to you. I have some jokers and I think some unicorn themed things in a pile. I was gonna send it. I haven't. You guys, I'm just, yeah. Oh, you're so sweet. Dana says, just just go to the care center or the thrift store. You know, I think that's the one thing that I'm so looking forward to is thrift storing back on the mainland. We've been dreaming about it. There's no good thrift stores here. Hi, Carla. Did you guys see Jean Bainey's video on her glue book tag video where she tagged Laura as the next person? You guys go watch her video. I'll link it in the description box after the whole when this video uploads. She has the coolest way to save images. I told her, I said, I think I'm going to try your way. She took an old hardback book. Did you see it, Jean?
I don't think so.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. She took an old hardback book and she she glued paper from end to end, like various points in the book, and then she just sticks her images that she fussy cuts in there. I thought it was good. Oh, you put great. Link her channel. She had that, and that video is such a good video. Malia, can you link that video? The one where she does the one where she does the organization. It's the glue book tag video.
This Joker is not a pretty Joker per se, but I just got to share it because it is way different. There's not a Joker on it, but it is the Joker.
So, Lizzie, this is for you. Not the Joker, but is the Joker.
Yep. There's not a Joker on it, but it's the Joker card.
I understand.
I love, love, love these cards. They were given to me, and the lady that gave them to me, her husband was going to throw them in the trash. She says, oh, no, let's give these to Jean. And I was almost in tears. I'd never seen them. So, got some pretty fun ones here. Yeah, I like to do things that are different.
Oh, those are cool. Very cool. They say Joker at the top. What's the words in the center?
U.S. patent number 6367799. Patent number 9493. Patent number 94691.
That's crazy. I don't think I've ever had a deck of cards that had a patent number on them. Well, maybe I haven't. I just never looked. You know who would know? Sharon would know. Sharon was the queen of cards. I missed auction. You guys, I was in homeschool. I was in whatever virtual school hell yesterday, so I missed a bunch of stuff. But she had an auction where she was like selling a ton of playing cards. Roy's saying he loves your Zentangle art, Lizzie.
You know, my desk was clean when we started, Shelley. Look at it.
Hey, mine's a big mess too. I have a pile on the floor of all the things I've cut up. You know what? I think I may, I don't know if I'll be able to finish this challenge that Linda had with just one magazine, but I've done a lot of pages. This magazine didn't have a lot of pages in it, so I have one. I mean, it was so thin to begin with, and so I have one layout left. It's a good exercise for anybody that wants to try it.
I thought you just had to do one page. One
page per magazine, but I've just used the same one, and I've almost done the whole book. I mean, granted, this is not a very big book, so like, let's don't all get excited here. Lizzie says she is so hooked on Zentangle art, she's using up all her ink. And Dana said she bought a ton of cards from Sharon. Oh my gosh, she had so many amazing things. I watched the replay. I wasn't there. Not all, but I had it on. You guys, I leave everybody on in the background of when I'm doing my live. Do you guys do that? Because I know that for a lot of channels, you need like extra, view times. You know what I'm talking about. Like, what is it called? You know, when we were all trying to view time.
It's so funny because I'll leave it on and my husband will walk by and he'll say, "Is she still talking?" I'm like, "Yeah."
No, mine always goes, "Is that a crafting mama?" I'm like, "Oh, brother." Barb Clark says she loves your Zentangle art too, Lizzie. We all love Lizzie's art. Lizzie, how's Jeffrey? How's our Jeffrey? I've been thinking about him. I've been thinking about our Jeffrey, sending him lots of love. My hottie knows who Lizzie is, okay? He always goes, "Is that Miss Lizzie?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm listening to Miss Lizzie." He goes, "Tell her hi." I said, "We're not in the live, honey. It's just video." Bootsy says he spent the afternoon weaving the ends on small, tiny crocheted motifs. Wow. Now I have a big baggie filled with the thread ends. A friend from church calls them schnipples. Oh my goodness. Schnipples. Did you guys see Shannon Green's video on, she did a video of her making painted tissue paper?
I seen it. I didn't go watch it. I seen it. It showed up the notification.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it was like, I love watching her anyway, but it was really a sweet video. Like I always love how carefree she is. She's like pours her inks all out. Man, I'm like, I guess because I just can't go rebuy them here. You know what I mean? I try to use them sparingly, which is probably not the right way to use my ink supplies, but what? You know what? YouTube has they will email you some notifications if you put subscribe, if you hit the bell that says, is it all things? You know, when you hit the bell now, you have like a couple of options. It says some, partial, none, or something. But if you hit all, it doesn't mean you get all of them, but it will definitely show you more than you were getting before. At least that's what I found. Anybody else have anything different to add to that? But you know what kind of is upsetting though is when you've been subscribed to a channel for a long time and you really enjoy watching their videos, and then they all of a sudden stop sending you them. So then I have to go back out, unsubscribe to the channel, resubscribe, and hit all the notifications again. Isn't that ridiculous? Have you had that happen to you, Jane?
Yes. In fact, today I went hunting for one. I kept thinking, I haven't seen anything for a while. And she hasn't put anything out for a while either. So now I'm worried about her. So, in fact, I couldn't even remember her name. So I knew where it started. So I went through my subscriber list till her letter of her name until I found it. So.
But I'm subscribed to so many channels that if I try to go through my subscriber list sometimes, it's like, oh.
Oh, yeah, it was horrible. It took me forever to get to the end.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about our Vicky Sparkles, our Vicky Schultz. I should email her and find out if she's okay. I've been thinking about her so much, and then I haven't. Yeah. So if anybody's heard from her, let me know. Let me know if any of you guys have heard from her. She's definitely been on my mind. And she's so fun. So I love hanging out with her.
I am going to have to call it a day.
All right, my friend. Well, we love you, Crafty Peeps. Thanks for hanging out with us in our Crafty Bubble. Make sure you guys go over and subscribe to Jean's channel. Her link is in the description box below. And stay tuned for, are you going to do a final flip through of your tag book? Not today, but I mean,
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Sure can.
she's doing a. Let me put it on you. Yeah, she's gonna. What are you painting now? You're painting
Well,
more
I
tag.
painted this because I'm tired of all the dark. So it'll get dark, but it's going to start in color. So.
Barb, I hope that's the only reason. I think the last time I realized that she had been in the hospital. So anyway, well, you guys, I want you. Jean will do a flip through of her book. Are you going to do it on your channel, Jean? You want to do it on another day so everybody can go over and see it?
Yeah, I'll do it when it's done. It's got. I want at least 1, 4, 5, 6. I want at least 10 more pages. I want it to be thick and chunky. And I've got one page that's really long. So I need to make another one that's going to, or two that's going to be a little longer. So
yeah. It's looking good though, Jane. I think it's looking great.
Thanks.
I really love you, Peeps, very much. Thanks for the love, and I appreciate your thumbs up, and I appreciate you guys. Go over and check out Jean's channel, subscribe to her, hit her notifications, and then you can see the flip through. And thanks for hanging out. I'm trying to get back into my YouTube groove. It just hasn't grooved as easily. My life is getting in the way. I have more time and I'm doing more things at home, if you know what I mean. Love you guys. Thanks, Barb. Thanks for your love and support. I appreciate you all.
Everyone.
We love you guys so much, and I will see you next time. We will see you next time. Before long, we'll be back here streaming and hanging out again. All right, ladies, as always, from my heart to your heart, I'm sending you so much aloha. Until next time, bye for now.
Bye.